Tigers play another leg away next weekend. Melbourne play Hobart Saturday, the 20th of April here at the Bucks House. Saturday night.
For both teams, today was a most important fixture. The home side was totally demoralised by Hawthorn last week and needed to regroup quickly in front of its hometown crowd. It gained a reputation for being somewhat fickle. At the SCG, however, Sydney is a much more formidable foe. Adelaide was surprised by Carlton last week and faces up to its first away game without the hordes of adoring fans found at Football Park back home. AFL action exclusive to 7 Sport.
And a very good afternoon, everyone, from the Sydney Cricket Ground. Indeed, this afternoon we have an historic game of football. The Sydney Swans, their first home game for season 1991, but it's also the first away game for the Adelaide Crows, and only about a handful of the Adelaide players have set foot on the Sydney Cricket Ground before. It's going to be a good match, a vital game for both teams. 2 other matches are being played today in round 3, Melbourne versus St Kilda at the MCG, and also Footscray versus Geelong, and Melbourne and Adelaide viewers will be taking a replay of the Melbourne-St Kilda game immediately following this clash here at the SCG. Fine conditions for football, the ground in absolutely magnificent condition, and we'll be back with the action in just a moment.
Very special welcome back to the Sydney Cricket Ground today to the Swans. Right back in front of the members' stand, and a big thank you to the Hawthorn and everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Sydney Cricket Ground. At the helm at Sydney this year again is Col Kinnear as coach, Dennis Carroll once more as their captain. Coach of Adelaide is Graham Corns, and their captain is the veteran Chris McDermott. As I said in our pre-match comments, absolutely ideal weather conditions here today in Sydney. The Mitsubishi Ground Report, and here's Cameron.
Thanks very much, Peter. Yes, absolutely perfect conditions at the moment, but the weather forecast is that it will get a little dodgy later on. Let's hope it doesn't interfere with the game. At the moment, the temperature is 23 degrees, which is about the top that we expected. It should go down a little from here as the afternoon progresses. Humidity 61%, the wind gusting up to about 10 kilometres, and I'd say there is 1 goal advantage towards the members' end, although on the flank that I'm standing here right outside the ladies' stand, it's very swirling and unpredictable at the moment. Ground condition excellent. The forecast is for a partly cloudy day, moderate to fresh southwesterly wind, showers later on. Let's hope they're a lot later on.
Thank you, Cameron, in an ideal position to watch the match too from outside the ladies' stand. A very good afternoon to Dennis Committee and Bernie Quinlan. Bernie, you'd probably like to be in that same stand yourself.
No, I'm quite happy to be up here, thank you, Peter. But yes, it should be a good match, this one actually. Adelaide coming off a loss last week against Carlton and up against the Sydney Swans, and they need to do well in their first game up here.
Checking the two sides, Scott Hodges, a vital player certainly at full forward, kicked 3 goals against Carlton last Sunday.
The half-back line, Bays at centre-half-back has been a good player up against Filkey, who was probably the Adelaide Crows' best player last week. Klug will probably play at centre-half-forward, has kicked 6 goals in the 2 games so far.
Across the centre, 2 very good lines. Greg Williams, the key to the Sydney team. A little bit quiet against Hawthorn last Monday.
And Danny Hughes making his debut for Adelaide at centre-half-back against Warren McKenzie. I'm a little bit worried about the Sydney forward line. McKenzie didn't do much last week against Hawthorn. Stanislau's making his debut also, and Jim West, the other player on the Sydney half-forward line.
Warwick Capper back at full forward. I doubt Darren Smith will start in the back pocket for Adelaide.
And and this is where it all starts. Gareth John last week, very impressive against Romano Negri. Lewis will probably line up on the wing. I think Carroll will probably be the ruck rover and Mitchell the rover for the Sydney Swans. Jarman has been named as ruck rover, and Tony McGuinness, who's played plenty of football up here on the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Hart and Thompson on the bench for Adelaide. Both had quiet days against the Blues last Sunday in Adelaide, paying the price today, at least in the paper.
And interestingly, only a handful of players for the Crows have played football on the SCG. Looking through the lineup, it would be Abernethy, Linda, McGuinness and Hughes, with a possibility of Filkey if he played here when he was with Collingwood. Otherwise, they're all newcomers to the SCG. A big hand for Warwick Kappa, back in the Sydney Swans fold this year. Played, of course, last week against Hawthorn, and making his reappearance in the red and white colours today, and a very popular player here in the Harbour City. We'll take a break. And we welcome viewers across the network now. Sydney Swans. Round of applause for Warwick Kappa, as I said, very popular player here at the SCG. Crows, Danny Hughes making his first appearance. Doesn't he look different? Formerly of Melbourne in the AFL. And he'll be wearing number 19 this afternoon. McDermott, the captain, one of the veterans in the Crows sides. We'll take a break now, and we'll be back in just a moment with the first quarter.
Hi, I'm Bruce Lindner from the Adelaide Crows, and you're watching Australian Rules Football here on 7.
Welcome back to the SCG. Adelaide won the toss and will be kicking to the left of the opening term. And gentlemen, your selection, Dennis?
Well, you have to take Adelaide a bit on trust, don't you? Disappointing for me last Sunday against Carlton, but I think they can win this, but I also expect it to be very tight. I think Sydney are likely to do better than they did against Hawthorn. The problem there was they gave Hawthorn such a big start, 10 goals in the first term, but were competitive after that. So danger game for Adelaide, this one.
Bernie?
Dennis, I would think that Adelaide would have to go into the match favourites. They've performed reasonably well over the first couple of games, also in the night games against in the Foster Series competition. But I think Sydney will perform a lot better than they did last week. But my tip is Adelaide.
Bartlett and Rowe on the bench there, Pete.
Make it 3. I'll go for Adelaide, but I also expect the Swans to perform a little bit better than they did against Hawthorn. First quarter, the Sydney Swans and Adelaide, an historic game of football. The Crows' first away game in the AFL. Gareth John and Negri. Negri's been having a fine season so far. Mitchell up to half forward, and the mark taken by Lee. Support from Maynard. Kicks to the centre square, marking contest. Smith looking for the free kick. There was none there. Murphy overrunning the ball. Socket away by Jarman. His brother did well for Hawthorn yesterday. It was one of the Hawks' best. Carroll, Mitchell, Cordy. Loose ball to be won on centre wing. Williams. One of many handballs he'll be, I dare say, getting today. Abernathy. Williams again. Swans into attack to half forward. Where's Kappa? This is Jason Love. Looks a little bit different in the Swans jersey. Plenty of Crows down there at the fall of the ball. It's Hughes to Marshall, who's been one of their prime movers so far in their initial season in the AFL. Been a great player so far, and they'll be expecting a lot from him this afternoon. To half forward, 2-on-1 in favour of the Crows. Hart, who performed so well in the opening match against Hawthorn, kicks up towards full forward, and Hodges.
Well, this is, I think, where they are stronger. The Adelaide forward line with Hodges at full forward, taking a very strong mark in front of Nettlebeck there.
Hodges' kicking let him down in the opening game. Let's see what he can come up with here. That's the only thing that would beat him. Distance won't be a problem. Accuracy isn't either. Splits the gap. First goal.
Actually, I thought he performed very well last week against Carlton, even though he was playing in a very crowded Adelaide forward line. Silvani was dropping back, getting in his way and assisting the Carlton defenders. But the way he approached it last week, he was really leading hard at the ball, flying, attacking everything. And he's not afraid to get in front, to put his body in front, kept his eye on the ball. A very cool customer.
The umpires today, John Russo and Michael Viney. Not a very big crowd. We've lost the footy, have we? It's taking a while to come back.
I think one of the Swanettes had poached it.
Interesting, Darren Jarman in the centre against Greg Williams at this stage. Battle of the hands. We'll follow that with interest. Negri and John doing the ruck work. Negri wins it down. Klug out wide. This is Murphy towards half back and Cordy across his body towards centre wing. Tregenza leads in the race out there. Close to the boundary line, didn't keep it in. Incidentally, Footscray won the reserves. I say Darren Jarman, Andrew Jarman, and Greg Williams. Rubber stamping a few clearances. On the outer side, Smart battling hard. Love gets a kick out of the congestion, floating it down towards half forward. Maynard waiting behind, in trouble. That's the man we were talking about, Jarman. Got it away to Abernathy. Kick around the outer side. Klug's in front. Within Bays. Well played by Klug. McDermott over the top. Hard against the boundary line. A busy Tregenza. Pulls it down towards the pocket. Athorn dropped the mark. He's going to get a free kick, I think.
At his third AFL club. Athorn from the left back pocket. Brings it out in front of goal. Could be dangerous. This fellow played a good game last week. Higgins to centre wing. Is that out on the full? Very close. Bounces about half a metre inside. And Lee and Stevie Wright having a slight disagreement. He's outnumbered there, Stevie Wright. He runs into Thompson on the rebound. So it's a boundary throw in. Williams on the bottom of the stack up, isn't he always? Fires out yet another hand pass. And so the Swans have probably gained about 15 metres. Almost up to their right half forward flank. Like one of the veterans in the Sydney combination, always gives 100%. That's all coaches can ask for. Negri wins that one. Lee, Thompson, Jarman. Kick over his body by McDermott. Doesn't really gain too much distance. Ball back to centre wing. The skipper, Carroll, can kick long, but on this occasion doesn't. Negri did have a short stint, and I stress short, at Hawthorn. Gareth John, Tregenza, Smart from centre field. Short pass down to Hodges again. And this time he's directly in front.
Well, he had a tough day last week, Nettlebeck, playing on Jason Dunstall. And Smart running up the ground. A beautiful lead again there by Hodges, and perfect delivery.
So again, distance shouldn't be a problem. The weight and accuracy. Goal umpire moves across marginally this time, and he's put it through for only a behind. And so 1-1 the tally for Scott Hodges so far. Sydney Swans yet to score. 20.5 minutes left in the opening term. This ground in truly magnificent condition today, as Nettlebeck prepares to kick in, goes to the outer side.
Short one finds Murphy, who can go again and does. Mitchell hard against the boundary line. He's at left half back, through centre wing towards half forward. Not a particularly good kick. Love does well in a tight situation, gets away from Abernathy, kicks inside the attacking 50. Kappa was up, it falls behind. Scott Lee on the burst does well, evades Kappa, boots it back towards midfield. Lewis goes back, takes the mark, plays on immediately across the ground with the kick. Coming up is Wright, gathers the bouncing ball, grabbed by Smith. Tui tries to knock it on. It spills to Carroll. Back towards Wright. Close to the boundary line. It trickles across.
Well done by Smith there. A great tackle on
Free kick.
Wright.
Belated free kick. Push in the back to Steve Wright. Very short to Carroll. Just squaring the ball. Carroll normally a very good kick. Kappa should have held on. Smart at close quarters to Negri. Smart again. Maynard this time. That's better. Thompson out of defence. Kicks towards centre half forward. Lindner coming across the face of the ground. Clashes with Aythorne. Bays in trouble. Knocks it out. John needs to go off the ground but couldn't. Goes back after it. McDermott's hand pass. Intercepted by Cordy. Scrambles it around the outer side. Higgins got it across to Murphy, to Eustace. This is Lewis towards centre half forward. Good build up. Mitchell hesitated. Was lost momentarily. McKenzie high up and under, down towards the pocket. Negri should fist away. Tried to mark. Dangerous. As a result, they're in trouble. Abernathy over the ball. Still they battle after it. That's Filkey slapping it out. Marshall. That's the place for it towards the boundary line. Abernathy pushes it across, and it will be thrown in.
Sydney have made a couple of changes on that forward line. Henwood playing centre half forward. McKenzie on the half-forward flank, and Danny Hughes picking up Warwick Kappa.
Well, Henwood did well when he came on against Hawthorn. Certainly they did better when he was on the ground rather than sitting on the bench. Ball to be won at midfield. Chance for the Swans. Tui takes the hand pass from Lewis. Kappa at the back. Had two opponents to beat. Danny Hughes, a wealth of experience there. McKenzie. Former Carlton player. Carlton Premiership player, and he will kick from right on 50. Left half forward. Fickle breeze here at the SCG. Should land it in the square. Kappa got up high, and the ball through for a rush behind. First score to Sydney. 17 3/4 minutes left in the opening quarter.
A big leap there from Warwick Kappa, but just unable to hold that. But he certainly attacked the ball much better last week.
He seems to jump better as a Swan, doesn't he?
He certainly does, Dennis.
With Williams up there firing the ball on the short ground, he should do better. Negri got the front position, couldn't take the mark. Thompson it is. Kicks to right half forward. Bays, solid defender. McGuinness, one of only 4 players that's played on this ground before. Tregenza. In the Adelaide colours, that is. Tui. Klug. He's done well so far this year. Kicks across goal. Might be a score. It is. It's one behind. The Crows tally moving up to 1-2. Sydney 1 behind in the first quarter.
Nettlebeck waiting for the ball. It's proving a bit of a problem down that end.
There's not enough people behind the goals to return the ball. That's a problem, Dennis, at the moment.
There's Nettlebeck.
Ross Oakley's on the phone for you.
Kicks outside the defensive 50. Cordy, strong mark. Away to Tui. He's in right half back. Hugs the boundary with the kick. Valiant attempt to mark there by Maynard. Couldn't rake it in. And we'll have a throw in. Rodney Maynard. A strong mark. Playing on Henwood this afternoon. Here's the throw in. Marshall's over the ball. Thought he was pushed in the back. Bit happening in that pack. And the umpire decides to bounce it up on centre wing. Adelaide by 7 points. Their first away game. White shorts this afternoon. Negri gets it down. Mitchell slipped over. McDermott goes in strongly.
Oh, very lucky to get that free kick.
Yes, very soft free kick paid to Eustace. Higgins breaks away with it down towards Kappa. Off hands. Chance for Wright. Vacant goal. Pulls it back too far. Minor score.
Well, there's a player in the goal square. I don't know whether he saw him or not. Possibly didn't, Bernie.
That was Henwood, who was back there by himself, but perfect roving off the pack there by Stevie Wright. Read it beautifully.
Danny Hughes. And that's a good kick. Negri the target. Tregenza. Smart. Shepherded by McDermott. Not a well-delivered kick. Bernard Tui takes the easiest of marks. Cordy. Straight ahead player. He's kicked it straight to Negri. Love stands the mark. Negri decides to get things moving quickly. Klug in front. Oh, is that a mark? Comes down with it. Gets a play on call from the umpire. Smith marking just on 50. A lot of options on the forward line for the Adelaide Crows. Smith did particularly well against Hawthorn. The problem area though is centre half back. He's underneath that kick a little bit. Might just get the distance, and he has put it through for a goal. And Smith's first goal, the Crows second, 2-2 to 2 behind.
Well, that's where they're winning the game so far, up on that forward line. There's so many players capable of kicking goals. The Sydney Swans have had the ball down there on a number of occasions. Warwick Kappa just not able to hold on to his marks. He's had his hands on the ball a couple of times. But that's where they're winning it, Smith. And the full forward doing the job for Adelaide.
Adelaide by 12 points as Negri wins it down. It's sharked by Williams, who pumps it in. Almost the mark down there to Hart, who was pushed off the ball. It was an Abernathy who got his hands to it. In from the side, Hughes gets a fist on it towards the boundary line. It runs out of bounds. I think David Murphy needs to man up on Simon Tregenza on the outer side. Tregenza has been very busy so far. Murphy likes to play his own game. Both looking for kicks. So far Tregenza has got better support. Mitchell trying to force his way through. Abernathy. Mitchell scrambles a kick. Down goes Thompson. Marshall at close quarters. This is Lee hard against the boundary line. Cross the boundary line. And it will be thrown in. 2-2 to 2 behinds. Romano Negri.
It's a fearsome customer, doesn't he?
Yes. Unshaven on the day of the contest. Perhaps the week of the contest. McKenzie wins it forward. Lee hugs the boundary line. Again, it runs out of bounds. Swans faithful looking on. Love a win this afternoon. Warren McKenzie staying off the pack this time as Henwood does the ruck work. Storming up the ground is Lee. Long kick towards centre wing. Smith works his way in front. Couldn't take the mark. Filkey, quick hands across to Smart alongside the centre circle. He kicks it down towards half forward.
That's about as far as it's going. Smart again. Hart with the chance. Tried off the ground. Nettlebeck, long way up from full back. Very promising youngster. Gareth John, likewise. He's going to be a champion, that fellow, I believe. Higgins, one of their best players against Hawthorn, but again, the disposal, not what it could have been, but there was nobody down there. Negri to Danny Hughes. Around Love. That intrigues me. Williams. Kicks short and accurately. Great disposal that time by the Brownlow medalist. Barry Mitchell marks 35 out.
Rarely wastes a disposal, does he, Greg Williams? Magnificent both by hand and foot, on the left foot on that occasion. Just had that quick look, didn't blaze away into the forward line, and he found Barry Mitchell.
And Mitchell's a good shot for goal, on the run especially. Distance won't be a problem. Accuracy looks pretty good. It's a goal. So a handy goal for Sydney. As the Swanettes struck their stuff for the first time today. Good to see them back here. Mitchell's first. Goal kickers for the Crows, Smith and Hodges.
There's the replay of Williams, just that little chip pass on the left foot. And Mitchell just able to find some space on that forward line. But the Sydney Swans doing a bit tough when they get the ball into that forward line. The Crows defenders playing them very close.
And Sydney chance already gone up. Andrew Jarman. Littlebeck tries to double back quickly. He wouldn't want to sit on the ball. Fires it deadly on that. Huey, Dewey and Louis. It's out of bounds.
Huey Toohey.
B. Toohey, one of the best buys they've had, Bernie.
Yes, he's been a great player since he came there from Geelong. Bernard Toohey on that half-back line. He
Actually,
can play full-back also, or on the forward line.
The other two have been pretty good too, haven't they? Williams and Bolton. That's close to out of bounds. Gets a bit of backspin on it in front of Maynard. Ian Robertson referred to him as an unfashionable type of defender, but he's done the job in the matches that I've seen the Crows play. As he trots back to centre half back, we've got a throw.
John and Smith to do the rucking. Smith works his way in front. Marshall knocks it about 20 metres. Klug over the ball. Klug gets the hand pass across to McDermott, who stumbles on the 50 behind Filkey. Lindner couldn't pick it up. Filkey did well in a tight situation. Smith across to Marshall about 55 metres from goal. Pulls it down towards full forward. Hodges lets it go. It's a goal. Adelaide have their third. They're 3-2. Sydney are 1-2.
Yeah, it's a very skillful combination, the Adelaide Crows. Once they get a chance, they very rarely mess it up. There's McDermott just stumbling. Plenty of support there by the Crows. They've always got a number of players ready to support each other. And Marshall finishing off kicking that goal. But one thing you do see from the South Australian players, they have plenty of skill.
Back in the middle, Negri had possession momentarily, lost it, picked up by Carroll, tackled by Smith. Dropping the ball is the decision, or more correctly holding it. Smith towards half forward, not a good kick. It bounces out wide. Lindner's in front of Cordy. Lindner claimed by Cordy. That's holding the ball in this day and age. Not much doubting that one on any day or in any age.
He had the opportunity to get rid of the ball, but the only grey area there was he in the back of Lindner.
Cordy towards centre wing. Negri comes up, takes the mark. He's doing well early. Negri on centre wing, floats one inside the attacking 50. Tui goes up, fisting away. Bays gets it across to Higgins. They've got some time to bring it out now, Sydney. Towards centre wing. Henwood's the target. Good strong mark.
And as I said, played well when he came on at Princes Park last week. Good to see him starting from the bounce today. The Moose. A fearsome customer indeed. Number 9 for the Swans. And again, Negri marking an errant kick. Good tackle by Williams. He dropped the ball. That's holding it. Higgins decides to play on, but no advantage. According to the umpire, it will be brought back. Williams, predictably, usually leading by example.
Yes, Negri with nothing to gain there from playing on because he was surrounded by Swans players. He'd taken the mark. He should have just gone back and steadied.
And Williams actually loses a little bit of ground, but gets it to Higgins. Offloads the hand pass. This is Aythorne. Kappa from behind. Yes!
Oh, he was nearly off, Pete. He was nearly off, Pete.
He had a rush of blood there.
He definitely took a step forward.
No need for him to play on. Watch this.
There's a mark from behind, an excellent mark over the top of Danny Hughes, and he was going.
Just getting his balance.
Thank you, Dennis. He's got it. First goal, stint number 2.
Warwick Kappa taking a great mark from behind there over Danny Hughes. There's the play with Aythorne, a long kick into that forward line. Kappa caught behind again, but he has such a good leap. A great pair of hands, Warwick Kappa. If he can get his confidence up again, he'll do very well here in Sydney.
Not a big crowd, but a very vociferous one. They are loud in their support of the Swans, and Warwick Kappa, again popular as ever. Jarman kicks to half forward. They might get the quick reply because Smith has already kicked one goal. He will be kicking from round about the 50-metre mark. 8.5 minutes left in the term. Smith for goal number 2 for him. That looks pretty close. Not close enough. One behind. So his tally is 1-1 so far. 3-3 to 2-2. 7 points the difference.
He's been busy on the forward line so far, Darren Smith. Listed to start in the back pocket. We doubted that. Lined up on the half-forward line. Giving them a target. Middlebeck kicks it in. Negri goes over the top, but there was a hand on the shoulder of Cordy, and he'll get the free kick at right half back. In fact, it's going to John. Cordy was interfered with, or seemed to be, but John was the man. Kicks towards centre wing. Smith knocks it down. Taken by Bernard Tui on the break. Through centre wing, long inside the attacking 50. Abernathy goes back and is interfered with. Bearing down on him was Love. Abernathy with the free up from the back pocket. High kick towards centre wing. John from behind trying to fist away. It slides behind the pack. Tui does well, fisting it towards the boundary line. Marshall taps it across.
I've seen that played deliberate before, but not this time. It's going the other way.
Yes, Smith interfered with after the ball had gone out of bounds.
Yes, by Henwood.
Against Henwood. He's a big, strong player, Henwood, but don't give away foolish free kicks.
Darren Smith wasting no time. Towards Klug, surrounded by Swans. It falls behind. Carroll towards centre half forward. Love worked under the ball by Abernathy. Negri claimed by McKenzie. Love away to Mitchell inside the 50, intent on drawing a man. Gets it across to right. He steadies. The kick's off target. And getting back there, Hughes knocks it through for a behind.
Good duel that between Hughes and Warwick Kappa. 2-3 to 3-3. A goal the difference. The Swans playing with a lot more confidence now. Hughes kicks in again, straight up the ground this time. And again, not where he would have liked it. McKenzie taking the mark. And bad marking there by Adelaide. Stevie Wright chips in.
That was very interesting. They were intent on filling up the hole in front of Kappa and left their men. 2 of them for Adelaide.
That all came from that terrible kick out from Danny Hughes going for a torpedo rather than the safety of a drop punt. He often did that at Melbourne too. Went for the torpedo punt and very rarely gets onto them.
A chance for Sydney again. Carroll's kick. He can kick long. Does. And again, rushed through for one behind. And the Swans doing a bit of the attacking at the moment. He's not really favouring either end. From our position, I would say it's probably, if anything, towards Adelaide's end, but it's minimal. 125 games in the AFL for Danny Hughes with Melbourne. Drop punt this time. Maynard. As Ian Robertson said, that unfashionable defender, but he does a good job. Marshall, he's already kicked a goal so far, and Negri's had plenty of possessions. Kicks from half back, kicks short to half forward. Smith the target. Got 2 hands to the ball, couldn't complete the mark. And wearing Healy's number, Lewis, likewise got 2 hands to it, couldn't control it. Chance for the Swans here. On the end of a hand pass is Higgins. One of their prime movers. Wright's doing well from half forward. Could just about score from there. Long kick will be a score. A minor one. And the Swans looking a lot better.
Pete, I'm amazed at the tactics Adelaide are employing. When they kick to the outer side, the defensive players on this side of the ground are going across to the middle, leaving at least 2 Swans players loose, and it's happening again on the grandstand side. When they bring it back in, the Swans, they've got loose men on this side of the ground. They're still unchecked as we speak. Meantime, the ball's in the centre. McDermott's got it to Jarman. Jarman loses control. Tregenza overran. Eustace goes in with a very strong tackle. What's the decision? Marshall gets up. Didn't have a lot of chance to get rid of that one, but it was a very aggressive tackle laid.
Notice that kick out from fullback from Danny Hughes. He nearly reached the centre with a drop punt.
John. McDermott does well. Smith down towards full forward. Middlebeck couldn't control it. Hart's over the ball now. Rowe in support. Carroll in a tight corner. Got it away. Lewis, nicely done. Releases Aythorne. Brilliant smother Filkey. As a result, McGuinness has a chance. Hurried kick back towards full forward. Middlebeck comes out in front. juggles the mark in the back pocket. Only a youngster, Nettlebeck, right on the boundary line, right back pocket towards half-back. Maynard, big leap, couldn't hang on. Higgins almost in the grasp before he had the ball.
Good decision.
Holding the ball was the decision. Jarman breaks away, centering kick, a beauty. And Smith, lively, comes up to take the mark.
Smith's doing well, Bertie.
Doing very well across that half-forward line. Klug also. He doesn't look much of a footballer, Klug. But he certainly thinks about his game.
Smith from half-forward. He's kicked 1-1 so far. He's hooked that one. Might be out of bounds. It is. Nettlebeck will kick it back. The opening onslaught from Adelaide, which wasn't as bad as Hawthorn last week. Swans playing with a little bit more confidence. Henwood, Williams, Lewis. Big raps on that fellow, giving him Healy's number. Smart punches from the back. Eustace, oh, Higgins late on the scene. Lee doesn't get the bounce that he wanted. Out of bounds. In front of Lee and Abernathy. Throw in right on 50. Swans right half forward flank. Close to the end of the opening term. 3.5 minutes left. Negri and McKenzie. The Adelaide player has the height. Marshall from McKenzie's tap down. Marking contest, unpaid. Tui as the tidying up work short of right centre wing. Spears the pass in. Again, not accurately delivered. And McGuinness, who's burning already in this season, kicks to half forward. John in front. Mark, free kick, whatever. Son of Graham John. And I think is going to be a star. One of the best young big men in the AFL at the moment. Not many games under his belt, but he's doing well. Henwood marks on right centre wing.
Almost squares the ball. Love's in front. Abernathy fisting away. Higgins couldn't control it. Love comes again, close to the boundary line. Gets a kick forward, gained about 20 metres. Mitchell the flyer. Abernathy goes in with courage. And he's going to get a free kick. Bruce Abernathy, 43 games for North Melbourne. 60 for Collingwood. Cole Kinnear's not impressed. Abernathy from left half back. Through centre wing. Cordy in best position. Takes the mark behind to Henwood. He's on centre wing, wobbles one down towards half forward. Negri will fly over the top and fist it away. It was a good spoil. Problem was it was Thompson.
Well,
he can't have everything.
He is doing well though, Negri, dropping back into the Sydney Swans forward line and making it tough for Kappa and the likes of McKenzie.
Oh, off the ball. Maynard copped one from Henwood. And it was seen by the umpire.
Henwood throwing his weight around a bit on that half forward line.
On Jarman.
Maynard plays on from half back towards half forward. Smith knocks it on intelligently. Tui controlled it initially and Bayes picks it up, swings it out wide to Williams. Now they can run. 4 points the margin. Adelaide's way. McKenzie can change that as he takes a tumbling mark. No, he didn't hang on. Goes looking for Kappa. Kappa near the boundary line, has it knocked away by Smart. It will be thrown in. So a fleeting chance there for the Sydney Swans to kick a late goal. Just over a minute remaining in the term.
So they've still got the seconds. Negri, Marshall, Andrew Jarman. No one can take the mark. They all misjudged it. Bayes, who can kick long but goes long with the hand pass to Higgins. He'll have to be quick. McGuinness has just about got him. He breaks the tackle well. Clock ticking down. There's not going to be enough time for the Swans to get a goal. Adelaide defence tight. Oh, he was decked. That was Abernathy. Now it's downfield.
He's played well, Abernathy.
That was Henwood again, doing the heavy work on the Swans forward line.
McGuinness. Bayes knocks the ball down. Here's a chance for them. McDermott, the skipper. Nettlebeck and Hodges. Against Nettlebeck, it would seem. Tui should take the free kick. Nothing for it. Cordy. Lewis, and there's the siren for quarter time. Interesting quarter of football with Adelaide leading by 4 points. 3 goals, 3. The Swans, 2 goals, 1. 4 points the difference at quarter time for Adelaide. The goal kickers Marshall, Hodges and Smith, and for the Sydney Swans, Mitchell and Kappa.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1991 AFL Premiership season.
Action coming up on 7 Sport, the Australian Touring Car Championship Round 3 from Wanneroo on Sunday, April the 14th. That is, of course, next week. And also in motorsport, a reminder about the Ems Car Series at Amaroo Park, Sunday, April the 21st. In both occasions, check your local guides for the details of coverage. Other match being played today, the big one, Melbourne and St Kilda at the MCG. We're going to be showing you now the quarter-time scores, a replay for Melbourne and Adelaide viewers after this match. So if you don't want to know, look away. Here they are. The other game being played today is at the Western Oval between Footscray and Geelong, and at quarter time the score there is Footscray 2-2-14 and Geelong 9-3-57, doing it well. Let's go down to Cameron Williams on the boundary.
During that first quarter, Swans coach Cole Kinnear took the very unusual step of coming right down to the boundary line and shouting his instructions from there. He's obviously feeling a lot of pressure. There's rumours that his job's on the line if there's not a good result from this match. He does feel they can win if they show a little more aggression. Graham Corns picked up on the loose man that Dennis, I think, mentioned earlier, and he wants them to redress that and maintain their lead in this quarter.
Second quarter from the SCG, 4 points the difference in favour of the Crows. Their first game here, their first away game in the AFL. They started well. The Swans pegged them back off the ground by Lewis. Kick to half forward. Chance for Love. Kappa in the square and marks. Read that beautifully, Warwick Kappa. And this time will not decide to play on. Umpire having a few words to him. Kappa claiming he was scragged. He still got the ball. That's the important thing. And from point blank range, should not miss. Stuttery run up. Effective. Great start by Sydney. They hit the front.
Yes, Pete, I'm not sure about Danny Hughes at full back. They're having a bit of a blue now, Kappa and Hughes. But Danny Hughes, many people at Melbourne felt that...
he's not the only one in the blue either.
He wasn't a very close defender at the end of his career, and he played in the ruck on many occasions when he finished off in the seconds with Melbourne. But a bit of ill feeling now between the two sides. Kappa just judging that one much better than Danny Hughes, and Hughes showing his frustration.
That was funny. Henwood was going down to help Kappa. About 5 blokes from Adelaide remembered that Henwood had hit a couple of them earlier in the game, and they made a beeline for him. Back in the middle, John wins it down. Shark by Marshall. Long kick towards half forward. Aythorne comes out. With him his heart. Tui taken high surely, and he'll get the free kick. The whistle has gone. Stephen Rowe breaking away with the ball. Brings it back now. Bernard Tui up from the back pocket. So Sydney lead by 2 points. Tough game so far, this one. Negri is up, fisting away. McGuinness dives in with Eustace. And we've got a whistle. And this crowd has built up considerably too. Probably about 8,500 watching the game now. Bounce between right centre wing and right half forward. For Adelaide. John gets it down to no one in particular. Higgins trying to force his way through. Jarman dragged out of it. Rowe fell on top of it. And another bounce. 3-5 to 3-3 after the Crows led by 4 points at quarter time. Negri and John, two giants, go at it again, body to body. Over the top, Klug, clean possession. It falls at his feet. Rowe, clever hand pass away. Thompson, hurried kick, floating down towards half forward. Cordy was up. It falls forward to McGuinness, about 60 metres out from goal, pulls it back. Aythorne going back with the flight of the ball. Nettlebeck comes up, takes the mark. Nettlebeck decides to go across the ground. Tui is out there on his own, takes the mark. The runner outside ignores that, goes to Bays instead. Bays up from centre half back, sweeping hand pass. John alongside the centre circle, a bit slow, but he gets it to Carroll. Carroll, who can kick a long way. Kappa from behind. Well, the magic is back in the Harbour City.
Oh, Danny Hughes playing in front, but it really is giving Warwick Kappa the perfect ride. The opportunity to come over the top every time, Dennis.
3 great marks today. I'd venture to say he didn't take the equal of any of those in his time at Brisbane. Terrific mark. Kappa then kicking at his third to increase the lead for the Swans. Deserves a goal, and he's got it. And you can feel the electricity. Sydney a 4-5, Adelaide a 3-3.
Oh, Warwick Kappa playing with much more confidence than he ever showed in his 3 seasons at the Brisbane Bears. As we see this mark again in replay, Hughes playing in front, but really you cannot afford to give Kappa that much space because you just climb over you every time. I think it might even be time to move Hughes from full back because Kappa's 3 goals early in the match. It's a worry.
3 goals to Kappa. Dennis mentioned the crowd had built up. Well, they're certainly loud at the moment. As the Swans lead 29-21 early in the second quarter. Gareth John thumps it clear. Can the Crows mount the quick reply? Murphy, he's been quiet today. Thompson fires out the hand pass. Not effective. Carroll from Higgins. The skipper. Abernethy will get there first in front of Love. Right on 50. Goes for the boundary line. Not too many other options for Bruce Abernethy. Smith is out there with Tui, and he'll cart the ball over. And no love lost between that pair either.
Oh,
thank you.
Look at this. The old 1 Tui.
1 Tui now.
Yes, well, he's given away the free kick though there, Pete.
Yes, that was pretty silly. Williams. Let's see if he can get the side back on the rails. The kick not accurate. Abernethy was the only one that had a chance, and it's out of bounds. There's the man that stirred them up earlier, Wayne Henwood. With Maynard. I don't think I'd pick either of those in a dark lane. McKenzie gets the front position and wins it. Mitchell, high handball. Maynard scooped it out. 4 Crows are there. Finally McDermott. 2 captains figure in the action. Carroll has a bounce. Higgins, plenty of time to steady, but there is a whistle.
Over the line, out of bounds, a throw in. I think the Swans are playing a very physical game up here, trying to upset Adelaide, put them off their game, and doing it quite well at the moment.
Well, they look a different side than that which was at Princes Park last week. Carroll from Williams. Now a chance for Sydney. Oh, Williams takes the hand pass from Lewis. Looks for another one. Mitchell for his second. It's there. Only 2 goal kickers, but they've got 5 between them. Kappa and Mitchell.
And all of a sudden, Sydney just opening up a little bit of a break here at the start of the second term. The running Sydney players have got a very good centre line. And Greg Williams never wastes a possession. Good hand pass out there, finding Barry Mitchell on the end of it, kicking his second goal.
Back in the middle. Just over 19 and a half minutes remaining till half-time, and Sydney have skipped away to lead by 14 points. This is Klug. Floats one down towards the pocket. Smith going back. Oh, clever mark. Very clever mark. Eyes only for the ball, Darren Smith.
Too much height, Dennis.
He'll kick from about 30 metres out on a slight angle. The Crows needing this one. He's missed. He has.
He's kicked 1 goal, 2, and 1 out of bounds on the full. Darren Smith. He's had plenty of opportunities, but he really looked tense coming in to kick that ball with that shot at goal. And so many players, they look like they're walking over a minefield instead of just relaxing.
Tui kicks in. Jarman, great mark. Across to Marshall. Klug in front. That's a mark. Seeing some great skills this afternoon. Some wonderful high marking. Some good kicking to position. John Klug now from about 45 metres out. This looks better. It's home. Adelaide get their 4th. They're 4-4. Sydney at 5-5.
And Klug kicks his first goal. He's been doing quite well at centre half forward. He was a bit of a worrier last week. He looks very slow, John Klug, but a very heady player. It's his 7th goal for the season. Always thinking, feeding the ball out. Not over endowed with pace, as I said, but he really works hard at centre half forward.
Marshall, Hodges, Klug and Smith, the goal kickers for the Crows. 35 plays 28. And good tackle by McGuinness on Williams. He was going nowhere. Murphy, how did he get out of that? Hooks the ball across his body. Love got underneath it, couldn't take the mark. Wright runs into Jarman. Umpire John Russo will bounce it 45 metres out from Sydney's goal. And Stevie Wright, the last to get up. A veteran over 220 games. Very crowded around this bounce. Negri and McKenzie. Again, Negri has the height. Carroll couldn't get boot to ball. Negri, Marshall. Oh, beautiful smother. Williams comes out with it. Carroll. Goals! The quick reply from Sydney. 6-5 to 4-4.
Well, they are playing very well, Sydney. They're playing as if this game really means a lot to them, and it certainly does up here, the first match in Sydney. As far as corporate sponsorship and such thing goes, it's very important to do well in the first home match, and they're playing that way. Also, Adelaide have made a move. Smart now playing at full back.
Back in the middle, Mitchell thumps it away. Filkey's hand pass, not a particularly good one. Jarman, he overran it. Socket off the ground by Henwood initially. Carroll on the outer side, long down towards full forward. Kappa from behind, got his fingertips to it, couldn't hang on. It runs through for a minor score. His confidence is rising. Nothing better than having a change made, and that's what's happened. Smart has gone back to fullback. Hughes moved away. Scott Lee to bring it in. 6-6 to 4-4. Sydney lead. Lee straight down the middle. John got his hands to it. McDermott keeps it in front of the body. Murphy rides a bump, now breaks away inside the centre square. Long back towards full forward. I think it's home again. Sydney on fire. 7-6 to 4-4. And they're playing that tune again.
He's a great kick for goal on the run, Bernie, isn't he?
Oh, magnificent player, Murphy. A little champion, that's for sure. Only 10 minutes gone, nearly 11 minutes, and Sydney Swans have already kicked 4 goals. And I think Graham Corns would be very worried at this stage because the on-ball players, the midfielders, are just starting to get it all together.
Mistake by Marshall there, should have grabbed him.
A good shepherd by Gareth John, and Murphy was able to get clear. And a beautiful long kick. He drilled it. 48 to 28. Biggest margin of the game so far. Lewis loses it. Mitchell, backup support from him. Kicks into the open spaces. Kappa and Smart. Get Smart, they say. They can't. Abernathy. And there is a whistle. He's got the free kick. Did well on Dunstall. And Hawthorn played them. John, great grab. It's a great ruckman in the making, that fellow. Kappa! Magnificent mark!
Oh, this looks a completely different player than the one I saw last year in Brisbane.
Absolutely. Is it the fountain of youth, or what do you call it? His kicking hasn't improved. He still can't get more than about 55 metres. However, he's got a few today, and that's what counts. Here's a chance for Aythorne. Couldn't break clear. Negri in front. Has to bend down. Eustace, oh, he's got it. It's going to be a ball up. Might have been a little bit lucky. If you dive on it this year, you're dead. Swans in attack. Again, they lead by 20 points. Negri and McKenzie over the top. The Moose. Henwood thumps it towards goal. Into the pocket. Right. Mitchell tries for a shepherd to keep Lee away. He gets the ball back. Then he had his head taken off. That should have been a free kick. Holding the ball. Going the other way. Sydney fans thought, like I did, that Mitchell should have got the free kick and he's in trouble.
Well, I think he may have ducked into that, Pete.
Danny Hughes out of the back pocket towards the outer side wing. Negri out there with John. It falls to ground. Marshall. But in the meantime, there's a whistle. Negri's got the free. Gives it to Marshall. So justice is done. Marshall through the centre. Cordy uncontested up from centre half back. Lays it off to Tui, who goes wide. This is Lewis. Tui comes again. Nice evasion. Kicks inside the attacking 50. Offhands Abernathy. Lunging handball. Cleared the zone momentarily. Carroll getting some width in this attack now. Too wide. Tui can't rake it in. It's out of bounds and will be thrown in. 7-6 Sydney, 4-4 Adelaide. Just over 14 minutes remaining till half-time. Graham Corns, 2 premierships at Glenelg. 6 seasons there. Jarman to Filkey. Hard against the boundary line. Filkey breaking away. Long kick towards centre wing. Tui favoured by the kick but dropped the mark. Smith held without it. No free kick. Tui. High one, gaining about 25 metres. McDermott intent on destruction, got a fist on it. John did well, got it down to Higgins, to Lewis. Lewis kicks long inside the attacking 50 once more. Bad bounce for Kappa. Smart leads back in the race. It's out of bounds in the left full forward pocket. Former South Australian Jim West looking on the bench for Sydney. Negri and Henwood. Henwood back to the boundary. Another throw in.
They gained about 5 metres, the Adelaide Crows. Thompson couldn't gain possession, so we'll do it again. Same pair, Henwood and Negri. Jarman at the back, doesn't come his way. McGuinness to Lee, and Lee's content to let it go over the line. So the Swans gained 5 metres. We're back to where we started. And there's West doing some hamstring stretches. An indication perhaps we'll see him shortly. They do it again. Again, neither ruckman getting an effective tap out. Jarman to Hughes. And Murphy, he kicked one from almost on identical position. Good tackle by Tregenza. Shoveled out by Mitchell. McKenzie, he's usually a good kick. Gets plenty of distance in that. Kicked it almost into the top row of the grandstand, but out of bounds on the full. So Smart will kick the ball in. After Hughes moved away from Warwick Kappa, who's got 3 goals so far. 2 to Mitchell, 1 to Carroll and 1 to Murphy. All singles to Adelaide so far. Smart goes to the outer side. Maynard was up high, couldn't take the mark. McGuinness from left half back flank. Target is Smith, doing well. Good deal between he and Tui. And this time Tui effective in punching the ball to the boundary line. Throw in left half forward flank for Adelaide. As David Murphy told us before the game, it's a long way from home. Out on the centre wing. Smith, fresh air shot. Going to be a bounce.
Nothing happening for Adelaide in this quarter. They can't break out of the middle of the ground. Their on-fielders are down at the moment.
Yeah, Sydney doing well at the fall of the ball. Jarman, he was almost tagged there. Marshall kicks to centre half forward.
Big leap by Nettlebeck. Couldn't rake it in. Ledner, who's been quiet, has it socket away. Murphy doing the job for Sydney. Gets it out of bounds. We've got a throw in. Buzz around this ground at the present time. Warwick Kappa, 3 goals, 2 great marks. In fact, 4 of them. 1 didn't register a goal. This is Carroll coming away to the run of Higgins from half-back. Long kick towards centre wing. Negri goes back. A token effort from Negri. McKenzie comes up and has paid the mark. McKenzie. Negri's going off the ground. Meanwhile, it's down in the Kappa direction. Lee, a fist on it, only as far as Lewis. Lewis close to the boundary line, running out of space. Was he pushed in the back? And according to the umpire, it's out of bounds.
Bartlett came on to replace him.
He'll do the ruck work. Goes to Henwood. Clean possession to Henwood. Goes again. Got it to Mitchell, who's been busy. High floating kick down towards full forward. Kappa works his way in front. Timely fist from Smart. Puts it out of bounds in the left full forward pocket. 7-6 to 4-4. Just over 10 minutes remaining till half-time, and Sydney have really sparked in this term. McKenzie worked out of it. Maynard's in there. Thompson didn't control the ball. Love the snapshot. Goes out of bounds on the bounce in the opposite pocket.
Importantly for Sydney, still in their attacking zone. Adjacent to the behind post. Good crowd. Late to get here. Bartlett and McKenzie. Over the back was Hughes. It's very crowded down there. If anyone can gain a clean possession, he's good. Oh, that was thrown back. Mitchell, snapshot. Cross goal again, I fancy. And out of bounds on the full, so Jarman will take the free kick. Lee at right half-back flank. Couple of bounces. He's well shepherded. He could have another one. And kicks to right half forward, and that's a good mark taken by John. And Graham John would be very happy with the way his son's playing. Not with the way that kick went. They might still get out of it. No. Picked up by McDermott. And that kick wasn't a good one either. Hodges and Nettlebeck. And the youngster does well. Tui. Not too many options for him. He's got the run of Eustace to get him out of danger. Eustace kicks to centre wing. It's all Adelaide. Andrew Jarman. Oh, nearly he'd throw that. Tries to get it out to Filkey, who gets ridden into the ground. It's out of bounds on centre wing. It will be thrown back. And the Swans' defence pretty tight at the moment. They've done well, conceded only 4 goals, and they've kicked 7-6. Bartlett and Henwood. The Moose with a bolo punch. Lewis off the ground. Inside 50. Capper and Smart. Oh, that's pretty close to a throw. Love from 25 metres out shoots a goal and has goal. 8-6 to 4-4, and I think you thought, as I did, Bernie, a very doubtful hand pass.
Very dicey, that one. A scoop almost from Warwick Kappa. But it doesn't matter, the umpire didn't pay it. And Jason Love kicks his first goal for the Sydney Swans after transferring from North Melbourne. There's a scoop. And most times the umpire would have paid that as a throw, but not on that occasion.
54 plays 28. The most intangible thing in football, confidence. Tregenza gets it out. McDermott's got the run of it. Warwick Kappa exuding confidence at the other end of the ground as McGuinness goes down towards full forward. Off hands. Cordy gets back and forces a minor score.
I don't know whether McGuinness was trying to pass that or having a shot at goal, but he was inside the 50-metre line and really should have scored from there.
Nettlebeck has done well. Short passes to Tui, who pulls it back to Aythorne. Aythorne out wide, intended for Williams. Almost a clever mark in front. 2 great players there, Williams and McGuinness. Filkey off to Thompson. Long kick down towards full forward. Smith was up, got hands to it, couldn't hang on. Slapped out by Hodges, taken by Cordy. Away it comes to Nettlebeck. Good composure in defence. Awkward one for the big fellow John. Backed up by Murphy. Away to the run of Higgins. He's on centre wing. More danger for the Crows. Down towards Kappa once more. Worked out of it that time. Smart takes the defensive mark. Smart in the sunshine at the SCG. Squares the ball towards the outer side. Filkey has been quiet today, but one of their best players since the formation of the Crows. Has blistering pace. Away goes again. Goes out wide. Rowe missed it. Formerly with South Fremantle in Western Australia. Best and fairest at Norwood last season to Filkey. In short, McDermott, the skipper. They need a goal or two. 6.5 minutes till half-time. McDermott looking for Hodges, drifting in behind Smith.
Their best forward so far, isn't he?
Well, he's had plenty of opportunities. He's had 4 shots at goal. He's kicked inaccurately. 1 goal, 2, and 1 out of bounds on the full. And Tui just let him slip away from him in there. And an easy mark at the back of the pack.
Aaron Smith should kick this. He's got it. Adelaide have got their 5th.
Kind of badly needed goal by Adelaide too, because this quarter it's been all Sydney. So really a much needed goal. I feel that the Adelaide forwards are playing too far back, especially the half forwards. And when Sydney have an opportunity, they really run that ball out from the half-back line without much opposition from the Adelaide forwards. But a much better kick from goal on that occasion from Smith.
Smith's second goal, back into the centre. They go into attack. Through McDermott again to half-forward. And the mark taken by Nettlebeck. And the youngster doing well. Options out wide. Aythorne. From left half-back flank. Klug on the mark. Not a long kick to half-forward. Marking contest. Down to Higgins. Screws the ball back very accurately towards Kappa. Here's a goal if Love can get there first. Smart in front of him though. And the ball tracks across the front of goal. Smart, he'd like to get it out of bounds if he can. Went for the boundary and missed it. Williams keeps it in play. Mackenzie from a standing start. Capper on his own. Well done from Lee, who was late arriving on the scene to get it to Jarman. And they'll get clear. No, they won't. Mackenzie had it and then lost it. So they gained some ground. Carroll, grabbed by Smith. Does the shepherding for Filkey. Likewise Jarman. McDermott around Aythorne. They can build something out of this, the Crows. Nettlebeck fumbles. Eustace on top of it. Klug kicks into the space at full forward. Marshall, who's kicked one, got their first goal. Bad hand pass to Maynard. Might get the Swans off the hook. Higgins around Marshall. Looping hand pass. Nettlebeck gets the favourable bounce he wanted. Time to compose himself. Kicks to centre wing. Tregenza and Bartlett. Back it comes to McGuinness. A high kick inside 50. Oh, strong mark taken by Hodges. That was a great grab.
He looks good at full forward, Scott Hodges. 153 goals last year for Port Adelaide and the Magarey medalist.
Now, can he get the distance? He should from there. Shouldn't be a problem at all. So a couple of late goals in this quarter, just what the Crows needed. If this is to be a goal, in fact. I don't think so. The umpire Roger Selwood says only one behind. So a point to Adelaide, 5-6 to 8-6.
Interesting, it looks like Tony McGuinness is tagging Greg Williams, which is a change of role for Tony McGuinness. Usually the boot on the opposite foot because he usually has to put up with the tagger. But he's going everywhere with Williams today.
Not bad thinking. Has a dual effect. Breaks the tag on McGuinness and he can run off Williams. This is Tregenza alongside the centre circle. Sends it back in. Where's Hodges? In front. Got a hand to it. It falls down to Cordy. Got the hand pass away. Untidily though. Carroll battling after the ball. Slaps it out. Putting his body in row. Was he held without it? Not according to the umpire. Hodges goes in. They're crashing in out there at the present time. Rowe emerges with the ball. Gets it away to Smith. Smith from 25 metres out has missed again. Well, he's had ample opportunity. He's got 2 goals. Probably should have 4 or 5. Still, he's presenting himself.
Well, his kicking has been atrocious, really. A couple of very poor shots at goal.
8-6 to 5-7. The clock frozen at 2:49 remaining in the first half. Nettlebeck has had a good game.
His predecessor was watching too. Rod Carter in the stands today.
Nettlebeck straight down the middle. Falls behind the pack. It's taken by Murphy. Into the path of Henwood. He stopped it well. This is Lewis. Bartlett should have tackled him. Lewis, not a good kick. West, good lunging mark. Right there was Maynard. West plays on to Higgins, who's been lively in this quarter. To Bays on his natural left side. He goes long down towards full forward. Capper works his way in front. Off hands and through for a minor score.
Back to 3 goals, the difference. Lee's going to kick it in. Crows would love another goal or 2 before half time if they can. Hughes was up high, didn't come down with a mark. Hook back. Tregenza from Klug. And then a good mark taken by Cordy in front of Hodges this time. And a few options out wide.
This is where Smith's letting his side down also because he is playing on Tui and giving him far too much room to run out of that half-back line.
Lewis up to Stevie Wright on the centre wing position. A minute and a half left in the half. The Moose, Henwood. No love lost between that pair either.
Henwood at a distinct disadvantage.
When you're on the ground, yes. Sort of player they need though. Higgins, he's been a live wire today too, was one of their best against Hawthorn on a losing score. And Dennis Carroll, I think, indicating to him to kick it long. Just about get the distance from there with the breeze behind him. Maybe not quite. Was that touched? Yes, I think it was. And Lee to again kick the ball in. 8-8 to 5-7 as the clock ticks down to half time, or it will once the ball was kicked back in again. Lee looking for options. They scatter. He kicks in.
West will fly from behind. In fact, he didn't. He stayed out of the contest. It runs off hands. Higgins charged down by McGuinness, who goes off the ground aggressively down towards half forward. Runs out of bounds. That sort of game. Sydney 8-8, Adelaide 5-7. The dying seconds of the first half. McGuinness confronted by Higgins. Smith at close quarters towards Marshall. John appeared to be pushed in the back. McGuinness again trying to lift his team. Smith away to Rowe. Rowe forward of centre wing. Good kick finds Klug. Hodges dropping back to the square. Klug will kick from about 45. 10 seconds remaining in the half. He settles now, so this could well be the last kick in this first half. 2-1. There's the siren. And a great finish for the Crows. Klug has got the goal.
Just what they wanted. 2 late goals, and they're really back in this contest now, Adelaide. 8-8 to 6-7. The Swans got away to a pretty handy lead midway through the quarter, but Adelaide, I think we could say methodically, Dennis, picked them back.
Yes, they've tried very hard, both these teams. Adelaide free running through the middle, looking very impressive when they're controlling the ball. It's more hard work for Adelaide, but I get the feeling we're going to have a good finish to this game. Just repeating at half-time, it's Sydney 8-8. The Adelaide Crows, their first game away is 6-7. We'll be back shortly.
Following the routine by the Sydney Swans, it'll be a very big welcome to the United States. Sydney by 13, 8 goals, 856, and 6 goals, 753. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, for all your household and car insurance, Swans Neil Cordy is the right man for you. Neil Cordy, all your insurance needs. Contact the Sydney Swans office during normal business hours. For all your household and car insurance, Neil Cordy is the man at the Swans office on 332. The Sydney Swans annual gala ball, ladies and gentlemen, will be held on the 27th of April at the Sydney Hilton. Bookings can be made through the Swans office again on 332. It could be a sensational evening. Good chance to mingle and mix with all the Sydney Swans. The QBE Sydney Swans annual gala ball, 27th of April, and the Hilton International. Bookings can be made through Anne Woodman on the Swans hotline. The Sydney Swanettes choreographed by Debbie Graham.
Adelaide started red-hot favourites here this afternoon. They led by 4 points at the first change. Sydney led by 4 goals midway through that quarter, but they hold a lead of 13 points at the main change. And Warwick Kappa and he's the leading goal kicker at the moment out there on the ground. Can they continue? Well, we'll find out in a few minutes' time. An early start to the football season, of course, in 1991, and it does give us a chance to look at the early plays of the season, the plays of the month of March.
We start the plays of the month with good news and bad for the Hawks. Congratulations to the boys from Glenferrie on winning the Foster's Cup Grand Final. But commiserations to the Hawks because just 6 days later, they ended up on the dining room menu at Football Park. Yes, get some Hawk on your fork. And didn't the Adelaide public eat it up when the Crows destroyed the Hawks by 86 points? And not even their favourite son, new Hawk Darren Jarman, escaped the fans' wrath.
At the back, Jarman. He can kick another one here. He can walk into goal. And he hits the post!
Oh, dear. They're not very happy. As if that hasn't made the supporters happy. The Adelaide crowd also showed their affection for Dermy.
The kick towards half forward. Brereton marks and the boos are apparent at Football Park.
To one of the bumps of March, and St Kilda's David Grant and Richmond's Brian Lees clashed heavily in round one. Remember during the Foster's Cup, Robbo was reliving his playing days? Sad, isn't it, that a grown man still has trouble dressing himself? I wonder if there's an opening there for Bruce, perhaps in the Myers men's section. It's hard to believe, I know, but some people just never learn. See what I mean? One of the best marks of March was taken by St Kilda's Dean Rice. Justin Madden is known as one of the game's great jokers. Somehow I don't think Justin was joking here. And so as we sit back to enjoy another football season, there's only one thing left to say. White tea with 1 sugar, thanks.
I think we must get Sandy Roberts to show us how he does his tie knot. Players of the month of March, and it's going to be a great football season. I can hardly wait to see what the next month's players look like. One of the more controversial decisions, or rules, I guess, in football in this day and age is the 50-metre penalty. We haven't seen any here at the SCG this afternoon. Let's check on our Watch Your Decision this afternoon. In the Sports World studio, here is Bruce McAvoy.
We have Rowan Saws with me. Rowan, welcome to Watch Your Decision, the 50-metre penalty rule. Tell us about the philosophy and the training behind this one.
Well, Bruce, there's 4 areas we look at, and there's 2 automatic decisions where we pay 50-metre penalty. That is where a player doesn't return the ball back on the full, or where a player runs between a player with the ball after a free kick and, or a mark with the player on the mark. So they're automatically 50-metre penalties. In instance where there's an undue delay, a player's knocked to the ground after taking a mark or get a free kick, there's a 50-metre penalty, or when there's encroachment, deliberate encroachment over the mark.
OK, so the 4 major areas. Let's have a look at some examples, because this can really cost a footy team. We go to the match between the Adelaide Crows and Hawthorn. Paul Deere and Bruce Lindsay are the players in question.
Well, Paul Deere gets the free kick. You see player Lindsay run across in front of Paul Deere, who has the free kick, and there's an automatic 50-metre penalty. If player Lindsay of the Crows had followed the Hawthorn player through, it wouldn't have been 50 metres if you had followed the player. But you see, just run, takes the shortcut, trying to chase the other Hawthorn player, so it's automatic 50-metre penalty.
Yes, he was trying to cut off Anderson. So we go to Subiaco Oval, West Coast against Melbourne. Flintoff taking a mark, Sumich coming in late.
Sumich comes in late. Flintoff has taken the mark, clearly he's taken the mark, and Sumich doesn't try to pull up at all and just knocks the player to the ground. So this is a definite undue delay. Just jumps into the player, automatic 50-metre penalty.
OK, so 50-metre penalty going to Flintoff there against Sumich. So the penalty against the West Coast, same ground.
In this case, the mark's taken, and it's just an encroachment over the mark by Lyons, just runs over the mark and grabs hold of the Eagles player when not necessarily. There's no necessity to do so. Goes over the mark clearly, just grabs hold of him. There's no, so it's encroachment over the mark in that case.
OK, Rowan, so they were all pretty straightforward and all 50-metre penalties. But for the people at home and for me and everybody else in footy, there are some that are not quite so straightforward. Let's have a look at some examples, and we'll get the people at home to have a chance during the commercial break to make their decision. Here's the first one, John Kennedy and Chris McDermott. McDermott coming in on Kennedy, so what do you reckon, 50-metre penalty or not? We're not going to tell you right now, are we?
No, let the viewers decide, and after the break.
OK, so that's Kennedy of Hawthorn and Chris McDermott, so what do you reckon? We go to the West Coast Eagles and Melbourne game. Gary Lyon and Lockyer here. Good tackle, so there's holding the ball against Lockyer.
Holding ball, yes.
And we see Lockyer's reaction to that decision against Gary Lyon. So is this remembering that Lyon's already got the free kick, is this a 50-metre penalty against the West Coast Eagles?
Next up to play.
And it's from the same match. It's Evans, Clark coming in late. And again, what do you think? 50 metres there or not? Rowan, we're going to put you on the hot seat after this break. So the people at home, make up your mind. 50 metres or not 50 metres, we'll find out in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Becker and Stacey Anderson from the United States will cross through the Angela Park. And the Hungary Jacks with the Royal Army. Making his way in front of the Barongo Treasury stand at the moment is the bandaged bear, or the band-aid bear, going around the drum there giving out strong stickers.
Welcome back to Watch Your Decision. We're joined today by Rowan Saws, a man who's umpired 288 senior games. Rowan, John Kennedy at Football Park against Chris McDermott, was it worth 50 metres or not?
No, I don't think it's worth 50 metres. As we see again here, Kennedy takes the mark, the Crows player comes in, just touches him, there's no real push or delay, Kennedy just falls to the ground, no 50-metre penalty.
Yes, I think John helped himself along the way there.
I think he went to the ground pretty easy once he felt he was touched by the Crows player.
Well, he's nearly played as many games as you've umpired, Rowan. Now, this one with Lockyer and Lyon.
There's the tackles applied, the free kicks, paid for holding the ball. There's no need for Lockyer to grab hold of Lyon. He should be allowed to get up and get on with the game, so it's a 50-metre penalty. Undue delays caused.
Right, that would have put Lyon right in the box seat from centre half forward. So 50 metres paid there. Now the third one, it's Evans and Clark.
Yeah. Clark comes in after Evans takes the mark. Evans just falls to the ground. Again, there's no undue delay, so therefore there's no 50-metre penalty. Evans helps himself to the ground.
So a little bit of a stage there. So the second one, the one in the middle, yes, 50 metres, the other two, no. Rowan, you've had a bit of an Achilles injury. We hope you get back on the track shortly.
Thanks very much, Bruce. I hope I'm out in a couple more weeks to get back.
Good on you, Rowan Saw. So how did you go at home? What's your decision? Just the Gary Lyon one worth 50 metres there?
Thank you, Bruce. Bruce McAvaney and Rowan Soares. The other big game being played today is at the MCG, Melbourne and St Kilda. Let's look at some highlights to half-time now. Our commentators are Sandy Roberts, Ian Robertson and Don Scott.
Ball's play on, so Phoebe puts the Demons inside 50. Frawley may have got a finger to it, but that's all. Owen tucked up against the boundary line, snaps it towards goal. It's a good-looking kick against his old side, and there's the first goal of the match.
He's bounced to the ground. Opportunity now for Davies. Davies gets the hand pass. Daniels from 40 metres. Jason Daniels kicks for goal. It looks all right. It's a goal to St Kilda.
The handball is good. Dwyer got a player going past him, Morris. Good looking kick in towards full forward, and it bounces through. Earl Spalding pumps Melbourne back in towards their half forward zone. No mark taken. Bennett got it beautifully out to Healy. Healy shoots towards goal, and bang, there's another one to the knees. Davies caught, gets it off to Antrobus. In towards McAdam. Here's a chance for the Saints. He's very clever in front of goal, McAdam. Makes no mistake. Campbell brings the ball back into play, going straight down the middle. A lovely kick. At the back, Frank Cogwell. Has a bit of space from the 50-metre line. Set sail for goal and puts another one through for the Saints. At half forward, at the back, Campbell. Clark's got the pace. To O'Dwyer. What can the big man do? They want something special. O'Dwyer kicks as he's slung and he goes.
And looks a pretty fast game at the MCG. Now we're going to be showing you the half-time scores. If you don't wish to see, look away. Here they are. Melbourne and Adelaide viewers will of course be enjoying a replay of that game immediately following the conclusion of this clash here at the SCG. The other match being played today to conclude round 3 is at the Western Oval this afternoon, and at the half-time break the scores between Footscray and Geelong are the Bulldogs 6-7 43, Geelong 10-9 69, and for Footscray Brian Royal has 4 goals. We'll take a break from the SCG, AFL Live from Sydney. Back with the second half after this.
Swans' next match, in fact, will be on the 13th, which is next Saturday at the Albertson ground when they play Richmond in round 4, but back here at home, round 5 against Essendon on Friday. Umpires making their way back onto the centre of the Sydney Cricket Ground. Our field umpires today are John Russo and Michael White.
Both teams back on the ground for the resumption of play. Let's try Cameron Williams. And Cameron, did you get into the rooms at half-time?
Unfortunately, Peter, I think both coaches feeling pretty tense at the moment. Both rooms were a lock-up, I'm afraid. But I can tell you that there's been a couple of kids sitting near me down here wearing Penrith jerseys. That's a local rugby league team. And they started off the day here shouting out the Warwick as a Woos. And over the last 2 quarters, they've changed their minds. Kappa's a champion now, and it's amazing. Warwick Kappa went away for 4 years. He came back, and he's already regained the crowd's love. They just love him here.
Thanks, Cameron. The statistics to half-time and comments from you, Bernie.
Well, having a look at that, Sydney well on top in the kicks and the handballs. They've had much more possession of the ball, especially in that second term when they got right on top. 40 marks to 22. 3 kicks, 13 in favour of Adelaide. Centre breaks fairly even. But as we were saying in the break there, Dennis, amongst ourselves, we thought the half-back line was running the ball out for Sydney on too many occasions without any pressure being applied by the Adelaide half-forward line.
Real problem for Adelaide, the way they've structured their forward line. They lack pace down there, and the ability to chase out will put pressure on Tui, Aythorne, Bays and Higgins, able to run the ball up and generally run on again, and that's been a problem. And those stats show a big discrepancy between the two sides. But Adelaide, of course, a lot of good footballers, they can come back. Let's check some individual player stats.
Dennis Carroll first, the Sydney captain.
Yes, steady performance, 14 possessions to the half.
Andrew Jarman not playing on Greg Williams. 7 kicks, 7 handballs, not bad up to half-time.
Leon Higgins is a runner, 15 possessions. He's a long kick, he uses the ball well, played well.
Chris McDermott playing on Dennis Carroll as a ruck rover, 14 possessions to half-time.
Bernard Tui has done well in defence. They've used him to come out. He's delivered the ball well. 13 possessions, an even spread.
And his opponent, who's had plenty of the ball, Darren Smith, 11 kicks, 2 handballs. He hasn't kicked well at goal. He's only kicked 1 goal for the half, but he really is allowing Bernard Tui too much latitude, and he's running out of that half-back line and creating plenty of opportunities for the Sydney forwards.
So the championship quarter coming up as the clouds build up over there. Forecast was for a couple of showers. Let's hope they stay away until after the match has been well and truly concluded. The Swans trailed by 4 points at quarter time, but they led by 13 at the main break. And of course, midway through that quarter, they held a lead of something like 4 goals, but 2 late goals to the Crows, who've got them back into this match well and truly. And so the next 15 minutes are going to be crucial to the overall wash-up of this game. Good crowd. And all appears to be in readiness now. Major goal kicker is Warwick Kappa. He has 3, Klug and Smith, 2 each for the Crows. The second half from the SCG, 13 points the difference in favour of the home side. Match to complete round 3. Sydney go forward through Carroll towards right half forward flank. A fickle bounce. Wright gets back first and gets just about coat-angered. Made sure the umpire saw that just the same. Kappa on a lead and marks. The first one he's taken since Smart has been moved onto him.
Well, the first time he's really led too, Pete, because he favoured falling back into that goal square, getting a run and jumping over the top.
Well, he led early against Hawthorn, and then when Langford was moved back onto him, he stopped leading.
It was amazing there how much space he had to run into also, because the Adelaide defenders just left that gap wide open for him.
Kappa, well, even he should get the distance from there. 45 metres out. The accuracy leaves a lot to be desired, though. And Bartlett comes out with the ball, but he's kicked it straight to Murphy, who thought about going on, but he's a good kick. Need to be a good kick, though, from there.
You can't compare him to Warwick Kappa, though, Pete. So
no, there won't be any comparison there, Bernie.
I think Murphy should make the distance from the 50-metre line.
Depends what the breeze is like out there. Won't quite get the distance. Oh, the Moose has grabbed it. Right in front. The angle might be rather acute, though.
They are playing with a lot of confidence, Sydney.
Oh, geez, moved him right around.
He's put him on a very tight angle, but really the Adelaide defenders, they're not offering enough opposition there. Penwood really marking unopposed.
The angle very acute, as you can see. Not too much daylight between the posts. And I think he's missed. So he very unhappy with that. One behind to open the scoring. 14 points the difference in the third term.
Wayne Henwood started at South Fremantle, played at Glenelg.
They didn't teach him the check side over there, Dennis.
Obviously not. Perhaps he couldn't be taught coming from Western Australia. Hughes goes right down the middle. John reaching over the top, got a fist on it. Higgins again running unchecked through the midfield to Henwood. They get these three men on this side of the ground and have target practice, and this time they'll kick the goal. Quite amazing. The kick in, the men from this side, without halving, go across to the middle to plug up the centre if the ball comes back quickly, but if it comes across the ground, particularly when kicked down the middle, there's that chance you'll get caught.
It's time they change their tactics. They need to man up the Adelaide side, because there we see Henwood on the end of that hand pass. And no one anywhere near him, and that was Danny Hughes who should have been with him.
Negri and John. John at the second attempt. Overrun by Bartlett. Ooh. Hughes goes in on Williams. That hurt. Williams is getting a free kick. Greg Williams. Forward of the centre circle. 9-9 to 6-7. Towards Kappa. He's taken the mark. No push in the back. It goes against Kappa.
He wants to hurry up. He'll get a 50-metre penalty as well.
Smart's got the free. Crowd don't like it. I think it was there. McDermott, right half back. Long towards half forward. Smith battles one out. Got hands to it. Marshall waits behind. Fell over. They're going in solidly. Maynard lost it momentarily. Williams slaps it off the ground towards the boundary line. McDermott comes through fearlessly. Collides with Rowe and the fence, and we've got a throw in.
On centre wing. There didn't appear to be too much in that Kappa incident. It's history now. It might have been a goal. Negri slaps down. There is a free kick here. And it's going to the Crows, I fancy. Negri will take it. Quite a fearsome countenance. Obviously couldn't raise a blade this morning. That'll be out of bounds. Hodges runs into the fence. A little bit closer than at Football Park. Obviously didn't like his aftershave. McKenzie got the last word, I think. Smith, John, out of bounds once more, so we'll go through it all again. I don't think either side really going too much from that. It's about 35 metres from goal, 9-9 to 6-7. Difference is 20 points in favour of Sydney. Smith slaps the ball down. McDermott will look for a hand pass. Marshall nearly caught with it. Umpire says play on. Tregenza does just that. Tui, or should have marked that. Might be costly in the wash-up. Plenty of Crows in there. Or Tui got one high. No free kick. Clash of heads, I think it might have been. Jarman comes up with the ball. It's a Sydney free kick. It'll be taken by Cordy. No, it won't. Tui.
And a 50-metre penalty as well, Pete.
First one today. Well, we saw that discussed at half-time. What did you think of that one?
Well, technically it was right. He gave the ball to Cordy, but I suppose the end result would have been the Swans got the ball more quickly.
Kiwi for kick number 10. Getting quite dark and cool here now in Sydney. Conditions are a lot different than we enjoyed at the start of the game. Two Sydney players up. Another push in the back, is it? No.
The mark's been paid.
Lewis.
Well, I don't know what's happening to the Adelaide defenders. They're just not attempting to do anything, Dennis. They're standing around and watching them take the mark. The player at the back there, Filkey.
Had to come, didn't he? Had to commit.
Had to do it, and he didn't. He sat down and watched.
Of course, if it does rain, that lead of Sydney's will take on marathon proportions. Looks a good kick. It is. Lewis's first goal, Sydney's 10th, 69, players 43.
Yes, well, I don't know what Adelaide can do because they've lost all their drive out of the middle of the ground at the moment. There's a mark to Lewis. They have their problems across the half-forward line. And their defenders really not working hard enough. A couple of uncontested marks almost for the Sydney forwards.
A real chance here for Sydney to slip away. They lead by 26 points. Negri gets high into the air. That hurt John. Carroll knocks it the other way. Hughes a hurried kick, only as far as Tui. Carroll once more on centre wing towards half forward. Lee waits off the pack again, and the mark is taken strongly that time by Love. Body to body with Abernathy. I thought for a moment Lee was going to come. He elected not to. Jason Love took a very good mark. It's a pretty long kick. This will test him though. He'll kick from outside the 50. Sydney Swans are playing very well. Love. Good looking effort. It floats down towards full forward. Big pack into the air. Negri. Lewis. Off target. Minor score.
Good effort.
Actually, if my memory serves me correctly, Love had a very good game here for North Melbourne against the Sydney Swans, didn't he? Kicked 5 or 6 goals.
He kicked 6 up here, Dennis. That's right. He could have passed that one off too. Stevie Wright made the lead. He had to kick a 55-metre drop punt there. Maybe he should have passed that one.
Hughes goes for distance. That is a mammoth kick alongside the centre circle. Bartlett lost control of the ball. Rowe does well on his knees. McDermott in the grasp. Kept it moving. Maynard battles after it. Murphy. Tidily done. Got it to Higgins. It's called against Murphy. Is it for a throw?
Well, I think the umpire indicated that Maynard was being held.
Oh, off the ball. He takes the kick. Hodges gets rid of Nettlebeck and takes the mark. And the crowd claiming that was akin to the one at the other end of the ground. But Hodges has got the ball.
Let's have a look at that again. Well, we didn't really see what happened. We only saw where he ended up, Nettlebeck.
Scott Hodges kicking at his second goal. Kicked 14 one day against West Adelaide last season. And he's missed. His kicking throughout the night series and so far this season hasn't been all that flash. 10-10 to 6-8.
Would have been a handy one. So Nettlebeck, with that strange looking headband that he wears in his matches, kicked out. McGuinness and Cordy. Hughes over the top. Lewis. Williams. Hand pass ineffective, out of bounds. Left half forward flank for Adelaide. Well, John was hanging on to Negri there. Got the punch away. And as is the case almost continually in this day and age from boundary throw-ins, it's a wrestle. Not this time. Higgins.
I think it's almost deliberate, that one too, from Higgins. Not paid. I've seen worse than that paid.
So have I, Bernie.
And sometimes not worse than that paid.
Knocked down by John. Jarman. Hurried hand pass. He'll get it back again from Rowe. Up to half forward. Left half forward flank. Flugers. Spiral punt kick into the goal square. Hodges. And off the ground. Kicked by Maynard, was it, down there?
Yeah,
Maynard it was.
He's a goal-kicking defender. Something you like in a team.
Well, he hasn't got that much territory to cover here. If he goes straight down the ground, it's probably the shortest in the AFL competition. I think he kicked 3 against Hawthorn, didn't he, coming down the ground?
Most unusual.
And Nettlebeck to kick in again. A lot cooler than it was earlier. Maybe that rain isn't too far away. Well, that's a good mark taken by Cordy. Reloads it pretty quickly to Higgins, and Higgins goes inboard up towards centre field, and Murphy takes the ground.
He's got on top of Tregenza. Tregenza started well. Murphy goes over the top. Dennis Carroll takes the mark. Still inside the centre square. Kappa's one out. He'll go for Kappa, who's got the run. Up he goes. Too easy. Far too easy.
He looks a lot better, Dennis, when he leads, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. That was a good kick coming in, and really no pressure again applied.
Well, Smart trying to apply pressure, but Kappa had the break. And when he has that break, he's got that leap that he uses very well.
He's already kicked 3, and he's missed with this one. 10-11 plays 6-9.
I must admit, Dennis, I thought Warwick Kappa was washed up as a footballer after those 3 seasons at Brisbane.
You had a few mates there, Bernie.
Yeah, so I don't think I was all alone.
Hughes kicking in, straight down the middle again. Still the loose men on this grandstand side. They won't be required this time because Adelaide, with the weight of numbers, do win the ball. McDermott got it to Rowe, to Negri. That's better. Now Filkey forward at centre wing. Told to play on. Something happened off the ball. Well, Filkey ran about 25 metres there. The kick goes down and misses. It goes through for a minor score. He was confused by a whistle. He's going across to chat the umpire, who had a conscience and let him run 25, 30, perhaps 40 even was optional. Here's Nettelbeck to kick it in. 10-11 to 6-10.
I thought he was in the store gift. That's 120. Klug. It's the hand pass away. Rowe kicks across his body. Good snapshot, that one. That's a goal. Just what Adelaide needed. Rowe's first goal and the Crows 7-10 to 10-11.
Yes, the Crows' first goal after half-time. They really battled or struggled to get the ball into the forward line, and nothing much has happened for them. Good hand pass by Klug, a very heady player, John Klug. Always looks as if he's doing things half-pace, but very good with the hands. Tremendous hand pass there to Stephen Rowe, and a good snap around his body for that goal.
52 plays 71 now. That was Rowe's first goal, and the Crows once again getting back into this match. Lewis collides with a teammate down there, and Mitchell's on his knees at the moment. Came out the worst for wear. Tregenza and Athorn. Short pass. Smith, who was kicked inaccurately, didn't get a chance to get boot to ball then. Marshall ridden into the turf. Swans looking for a holding the ball decision. Higgins, in my book, has just about been their best player. Certainly around the ball, he's been magnificent. And whatever comes his way, Stevie Wright usually takes. Passes on. Kappa, yes! Where did he come from? I thought Danny Hughes had that. Kappa late on the scene, too far out to score for him.
A tremendous lead again by Warwick Kappa, playing with some confidence.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Well, something we never saw him do in Brisbane.
Kappa from 48 or 49 metres. One of his longer kicks for the day, but inaccurate again. So his last two kicks resulting in two behind would have been very handy. 10-12 to 7-10. So again the difference is 20 points. And Hughes showing the scars of battle. Looks as though he's gone a couple of rounds with Joe Frazier. Will he try the spiral punt again? Yes, he does. And a real bomb right to the centre circle.
McKenzie got a fist on it. Bartlett away to Filkey. Filkey from about 70 metres out. Hodges dropping back, dropped the mark, out of mid-air, got the goal. How's that for a transformation? From one end to the other. Long bomb alongside the centre circle. One hand pass. Towering kick. And Hodges got the goal.
Is that the plan, Bernie?
Well, I think it is too, Pete, because Danny Hughes is a bit of a worry with that torpedo, but that time he got onto it. A magnificent kick to the centre of the ground. Two kicks, and that's the way to play the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Danny Hughes, what a kick. Can the Crows come back? The margin now, 72 to 58. Filkey, they need him sparking. He goes out wide. Maynard appears to be on the forward line now. Keeps the ball in front. Goes to ground, pushed in the back. Higgins.
No, good decision. Higgins is going quick about that, but he was pushed.
I was just going to say he wasn't happy. You could tell. Here's Maynard outside the 50. Look of intensity as he goes long, right down towards full forward. Hodges comes over the top, couldn't hang on. Swans bring it away. This is Carroll towards the outer side. Williams, oh, great mark. Marvellous effort considering the quality of the opposition to McGuinness. Higgins been very lively. A centering kick. It lands in open space. Kappa lays it off to right. He should kick a goal from 35. He has.
Stevie Wright's first goal, and a timely one for Sydney. 11-12 to 8-10.
Yes, it was a timely goal, but you just had the feeling that Adelaide were sneaking back into this match there. A good bounce to Warwick Kappa, feeds it off nicely to Steve Wright. And a very easy goal. Really, the defence of the Crows has been fairly ordinary today. They've, on a number of occasions, the Sydney Swans players have been able to run around by themselves without any pressure from the Crows defenders.
Wright's first goal, again the difference is 20 points, and again the crowd comes to life. John Klug out of the centre, good long left footer. Oh, Maynard, yes, strong. Good move, putting him down there on the forward line. And as we know, can kick goals. So this might be the quick reply that the Crows need. Point blank range, virtually. Kick number 4. Shouldn't have any problems, and doesn't. The goals coming thick and fast in the third term. 11.5 minutes left in it. Anybody's match.
It sure is, Pete, anyone's game. And Adelaide within striking distance if they can get the next goal. There's the replay, Maynard taking a strong grab. He didn't know what was coming his way either, so a courageous mark in the end to Maynard.
Maynard's first goal, 78-64, 14 points in it now. The Crows coming back with alacrity. Klug, as he caught with the ball. Eustace comes out with it ultimately, but the umpire has decided on a ball up. All in for this one. As umpire John Russo puts it down. Tapped out towards centre wing. Barry Mitchell goes backwards with the hand pass to Mark Bayes. Lewis, not a good hand pass because he was covered. Mitchell is able to get into the clear and fire the kick down to half forward. Good defence that time by Adelaide as the ball is fisted over the boundary line. 65 to 70 metres out from the Swans goal. 10.5 minutes left in this term.
No doubting their intention there. Rowe and Lee both trying to punch it away. Need more of that. Throw in. Henwood up in front. Marshall at the base of the pack. McGuinness goes after it in turn. Flicks it out. Taken by Smart to Filkey. Getting some possessions now. Only as far as Toohey. Red Smith to the ball. Bernard Toohey. Is it right half back? Just over 10 minutes remaining in the third term. Tight game. Toohey sits it up looking for West. Smart waiting behind. Thompson's on the ground, in trouble. That'll be holding the ball.
Yes, he had an opportunity to get the hand pass out.
West to Carroll, towards half forward. In from the side. Big leap by Lee. Strong mark Abernathy. Showed the better judgment. Started the game very well. Coming back from injury. High towards centre wing. Big pack into the air. Lewis. Not a good hand pass. Straight to Rowe. Strong tackle Toohey. Intercepting there was Eustace.
It's on behind.
Bad luck for Thompson. Came to meet the ball and missed it. Down goes Mitchell. He's going to get a free kick. Bit of a wrestle behind play. That's broken up. Mitchell into open space. Kappa will get it again. Oh, should have. Dropped it. Wheels around. No pressure on him from 40 metres out. Kappa, he's missed again.
3 behinds in a row he's kicked.
Well, he should have marked that one. Some indecision about whether to take it in the hands or take it on the chest, and as a result, did neither.
Well, 2 bad misses. The mark firstly, then the kick for goal. He had plenty of time.
What's Hughes going to do this time? Is he going to go for the top? 2 kicks and they got a goal. No, drop punt this time. Negri in front. Went up one-handed. They're hard to mark like that. Good throw by Tregenza. That was a real slick job. Like Darren Jarman has got lightning hands. Out of bounds it is. It's Darren, not Andrew. I presume they both have. It's Andrew here today. Otherwise I'll have John Lawrence on the phone. Smith to Felke. And Andrew Jarman. Cordy beats him for it. And to it. So 40 metres from goal. Right half forward flank for Adelaide. Klug and John. At the back is Smith. And a standing start. Kicks pretty quickly. Nettled back. That could be a crucial fumble. Shuffled out the back to Cordy. He goes across the ground. Ball bouncing into open spaces. Filkey will get there first. Picks it up well. Good hip and shoulder by Steve Wright. Likewise Mitchell. It comes to Smart. Smart right on 50. Goes for home and gets it. anybody's game at the SCG. Adelaide, with a little bit of polish, come to within 9 points.
There's nothing in it now, and Adelaide, for Adelaide, has been a very good quarter of football. And this Filkey, who has been an excellent player throughout the term, has been moved into the middle, or playing as a ruck rover. It's pretty hard to tell these days. But he has certainly lifted the Crows with plenty of the ball in this term.
So the margin is back to 9 points. They're a gritty combination, the Crows. They keep on coming. Smith smothered off the boot. As a result, Klug forced to play on. Hodges in best position. Turns and goes. 3 points the difference.
Hodges is third.
Well, those misses early in the quarter for the Sydney Swans could be costly now, because every time Adelaide get the ball down on that forward line, they're scoring goals. And Kappa with 3 behinds for the term. Henwood really missed a simple shot at goal earlier when he took that great mark in the goal square. And really, the Crows just making Sydney pay for those misses now.
So the challenge with the Sydney Swans, just over 7 minutes remaining till three-quarter time. Negri, big fist away. Up comes Cordy, who's been a reliable defender, outnumbered. It deflects off his boot towards the outer side. Murphy soccers. Good bump from Tregenza. Put Murphy down, the ball spills across the boundary line. The Crows have the advantage of the breeze throughout this game, and in fact the reserves game earlier today that Footscray won. The breeze has pushed down that way, and most of the scoring has been done to the left. Tregenza in the tackle. Carroll clean possession from half-back. Holds up in the breeze out there, off the hands of Bartlett. Forced forward by the Swans. This is Mitchell, hard against the boundary line. Squares the ball. Smart, good mark.
That was a magnificent mark by Smart. Read the play to perfection.
Crows getting on top, and a good quarter by them, and one gets the feeling they haven't finished yet. McDermott. Where's Hodges? Punched away by Nettlebeck. Maynard, snap, they're in front. Swans have gone to sleep momentarily, 79 to 82. Adelaide in front for the first time since the first quarter.
And a very good move by Graham Corns, as it's turned out. Maynard up on that forward line. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 for the term, and this is a great goal. Under enormous pressure from the Sydney defence. A snap around the corner.
And Sydney stopping to a walk as Adelaide go to a lead of 3 points. Can they come back? Negri jumping a mile in the air. Bays gets the hand pass away. Gets dumped after he got rid of that one to half forward. Lee. Good chase by Kappa. He did get his kick in. Open spaces out there. Murphy and Tregenza. Tregenza started well. Negri almost had it socket away. Picks up. Tregenza, they're playing with plenty of confidence now, Adelaide, don't worry. McDermott, huge kick down to Hodges. Just can't control it this time. Ball shuffled out the back. Nettlebeck will try to get it with the educated tap to the boundary line. It's going to be a throw-in.
So it's the Crows by 3 points. They're happier. Just over 5 minutes remaining till three-quarter time. Klug, clean possession. A slick hand pass away, too slick for Thompson. Murphy, Tui in trouble, needs some support, goes back towards the boundary line, but Bays is there. Mark Bays towards the outer side wing. Untidy kick, it drifts out of bounds on the full. So the Swans making mistakes. McGuinness with the free kick, wants to play on from centre wing, sends it long, well inside the 50. Back goes John, timely mark. Gareth John. Required under the father-son rule. Across the ground. Love. The Swans need to steady. This is Lewis. Up from half-back. Towards half-forward with a kick. West is the target. Bartlett does well. Fisting away, but only as far as Henwood. Bad handball. Bartlett's got it now. Floats a kick towards the middle. Klug is coming up in from the side. Murphy. Klug with the run of it. Taken high surely, and again. Klug will get the free kick alongside the centre circle. Just over 4 minutes till three-quarter time. They've come storming back into this game, Adelaide. Long kick, a searching kick for Hodges, fisted away by Nettlebeck, taken by Rowe. He appeared to be taken high. Hodges grabs the ball on the 50, pulls it back. Awkward bounce for Big John down there. Tui eventually comes away. Tui, members side with the kick. In front, Henwood knocked away by Smart. Rowe goes in, can't control it. We've got a throw in.
And Henwood's got cramp. Big John. You would have played that as a record in your disc jockey days, Dennis, wouldn't you?
Long time ago.
Bayes hits down. Lewis thought about going off the ground. A stalemate. And the bounce just outside 50. Great fight back by Adelaide. I think Sydney would have expected that, though, just the same. Henwood missed it. He still having trouble with that cramp, I believe. Eustace. Aythorne. Now a good mark to Mitchell. Could almost get 50 there.
Must have been touch off the boot, Peter.
Well, I thought it was a mark. Crowd did too. And the mark is taken by Smith.
Well, that's the only explanation for that, because that definitely was a mark to Mitchell. And Mitchell going crook at the umpire now in the centre of the ground. And also Dennis Carroll not happy about it.
And it should be another goal to Adelaide. There's nothing wrong this quarter. And Smith hasn't kicked accurately, but he should get this one, sure. He has. 3 goals to Smith. And Adelaide taking a bit of a grip on the game now. 13-10 to 11-13. 7 goals they've kicked this quarter and have outclassed Sydney.
And the crowd not happy at all with that decision. And the mark not paid to Barry Mitchell. It was definitely a mark.
Back into the centre, 13-10 to 11-13. Now Sydney's chance to go forward. 2 minutes left in the quarter.
Sydney at half forward. Aythorne pulls it back towards Kappa, who's out of position. Hughes in front takes the diving chest mark. Danny Hughes, best and fairest for Melbourne back in '85, towards the outer side. This man has had a pronounced influence on the term. Bradley Filkey. He's been very busy. Has blistering speed. Went in the direction of another speedster, Tregenza. The ball eluded him. This is Marshall. Through the traffic, Marshall. Finds Jarman. No, Smith got his fingertips to it in front of Jarman. As a result, it took a deflection. It's with Higgins, who breaks away from left half back around the outer side wing. John goes back with courage. It falls forward to Marshall. John's hurt on the outer side. Tregenza knocks it forward. The Crows doing very well now. This is Rowe. Smothered superbly off the boot by Eustace. Still it's Eustace over the ball. McDermott claimed by Carroll. And we'll have a bounce down. Down towards right half forward for the Crows. 7 goals to 3 in this term. Lewis for space on the outer side. West in front of Bartlett. Back to Lewis. Hurried kick. Didn't look. Williams couldn't control it. McGuinness over the ball now. Almost holding the ball. Mitchell cleverly away to Lewis.
Lewis goes short to Kappa, and this time in front marks. Might be the last kick of the quarter as we look at the mark again.
He's got so much space to lead into on that forward line, Warwick Kappa.
They'll badly need a goal here. Last 3 kicks for goal have been points. Make it 4 in a row, I think. So across the quarter, and Cole Kinnear looking pensive on the boundary line. 7 seconds remaining in the term, 8 points in it. Adelaide looking much the better side. The difference isn't that much, but it's the way Adelaide have attacked their task in the latter part of this term that has made them look the goods. Hughes will kick in. Spirals it again, doesn't quite get onto that one. And the mark taken by Lewis. 2 seconds remaining. So they won't get a chance for another score. In the 3/4 time, Adelaide will be in front by 8 points. 13-10, 88 Sydney, 11-14, 80 with 1 quarter remaining.
with 1 quarter remaining. This is the major social event of the year for the Swans. Tables are going very fast for just $80 all inclusive. Tremendous evening's entertainment from 7:15. 332 3888. And remember, for all your household and car insurance, Sydney Swans Neil Cordy is the man here. He'll give a quote on all your insurance needs, and be contacted again on the Swans hotline on 332 3888. QBE Insurance are proud to be the major sponsor again in 1991 of the Sydney Swans. Madison Holdings Proprietary Limited are the major support sponsor. Major associate sponsor is Carlton and United Breweries, and the associate sponsor Classic is 2UW. Also valued sponsors of the QBE Swans for 1991 AFP Management, ATN Sydney, Sydney Futures Exchange, JB Lohr and Son, Adbertson, ZZ Australia, Carlton and United Breweries, Price Waterhouse, NEC Information Systems, Amdale Australia, Swagon Steel Proprietary Limited, Graham Golf and Partners, Brown and Hero, Gardner and Taylor, Brambles Australia, Kinco Carrot, Just Jeans, Parent Female Australia, Owen Foods, Resender Australia, Taxfield, Shilling John Horsford Sons, Thomas Mining, Snamak, Guards, Radio 2UE and 2 Radio, Panel and Plastics, NSA Australia, Zurich Insurance, Joy Building Society,
Good quarter by Adelaide, kicking 7-3 to 3-6, and they turned a 13-point deficit into an 8-point lead at the final change. 1 quarter to go. Basketball, of course, underway this weekend, and we saw a great match earlier this afternoon. And don't forget that the NBL season exclusive to 7 Sport. Check your local guides for details of coverage. Now we're going to be showing you the 3/4 time score from the clash at the MCG between Melbourne and St Kilda. If you don't wish to see it, look away. Here it is now. And don't forget, viewers in Melbourne and Adelaide will be seeing a replay of that clash immediately following the game here at the SCG. Other game being played today in round 3 is at the Western Oval. They're almost neighbours, Footscray and Geelong. And the score we have there, the latest to 3/4 time, Footscray 9-7-61, trailing Geelong 12-19, 91 by 5 goals. Troy Maloney, we understand, has been injured and has been taken from the ground with what we believe to be a knee injury. Let's hear what the coaches had to say. Here's Cameron Williams.
Well, once again, Colin Kinnear came down to the bench to govern the last 5 minutes of that quarter. He's very keyed up. He's asked his players to take advantage of the breeze in this quarter, kick long, tighten up in the packs and generally control the ball. Graham Corns asked his players to dig deep and get some early history on the board as being a club respected away from home.
Their first away match, of course, the Crows. Can they win it? Their record at the moment at home, 1-1. The statistics, gentlemen, from the 3rd quarter.
Well, really, it looks there as if Sydney had enough of the ball and just couldn't convert when they got on the forward line. As we saw, that 3-6 they kicked for the term wasn't good enough, and Adelaide kicking far more accurately was 7-3.
Yeah, basically a quarter played in 2 halves. Sydney did well early, and then Adelaide came storming back. Probably their running players, Filkey, Jarman, Rowe, those sort of players, bobbing up and getting some possessions, and that's what they need. And as we've seen in the night series and some of the practice matches. Adelaide certainly are a gritty team. They'll keep on coming. He's hoping for that, of course, and they're in with a chance now, but I think it's going to be a pretty good last quarter because the Sydney Swans have the scoring end.
Well, the Sydney Swans were virtually friendless in the betting. Adelaide red-hot favourites in this clash. Most of the tipsters went for the Crows to make it a 2-1 situation.
Wayne Henwood, who went off with cramp in that third term. It looks like he's being really taped up around there to try to keep that cramp away, but yes, that's the problem this term for the Crows. The breeze is fairly strong and favouring Sydney.
Picked up a bit, Bernie, hasn't it?
It certainly has, Pete.
So the umpire just waiting for the players to take up their positions now, and the time span of three-quarter time to elapse. Umpire John Rosso bounces the ball for the start of the final quarter at the SCG. Sydney having kicked 3-6 in the previous turn with 7-3, trailing by 8 points. Can they get up? They have the breeze. McDermott, first possession, claimed. And it will be another bounce. Just off the circle. John with Negri. And the ball actually hit the ground. Neither player could get a run at it. Klug crumbles. McGuinness won't. Short kick. Mitchell. Controversial decision on that mark that he obviously didn't take in that previous quarter. Crowd didn't like that. Williams slaps it out to West. Lengthy hand pass. Right. Kicks it over his shoulder into the square. Kappa one out against Hughes. Nearly a miraculous mark. And Rowe will do the tidying up work. Shepherding from Smart. Abernathy, who started well. High kick. Bartlett fists the ball almost clear. Over to Lee. Mitchell in pursuit. Lee still going from left half-back flank. Not a good kick. Doesn't get too much distance at all. John looking for a free kick, and it will go the other way to the Adelaide skipper McDermott. He's got it out to Filkey, who was almost the linchpin, shall we say, in Adelaide coming back in that third quarter. Did a lot of useful things, one behind.
Jarman not happy with him there either, because Filkey could have popped that one over the top, and Jarman would have been having the shot from about 25 metres out.
9 points the difference.
Nettelbeck goes in short to the pocket. Aythorne very wide. The mark is taken out there by Smith. Bad luck for the Swans. Tui slipping as that ball started in his direction. Centering kick from Smith. In front, Cordy. She can take a good mark. Plays on to Aythorne. This is Lewis. Left half back for the Swans. A high kick towards centre wing. Didn't look. Negri uncontested. Tregenza sends it back in. McDermott is it right half forward. Too far out to score. Goes for distance. Centering kick. Hodges is down there, but the mark is taken once more by Cordy. Does it again, this time to Lewis. Short one. Mitchell gathers the half volley well. Back to Lewis. Gets around Thompson. Negri's in the road once more. Williams forced to spoil and did it well. Stanislas on the ground. We haven't seen much of him. McGuinness put his body in intelligently. Abernathy pushed off the kick. Higgins an opportunity now from 40 metres. It's bending back. It's a behind. Perhaps should have done better. He had some time, Leon Higgins, who's been a very good player this afternoon. 11-15 to 13-11.
22 minutes left in the half, or the quarter. Danny Hughes favouring the drop punt this time. With good effect. Tregenza right on his own defensive 50-metre line. John in front. Smith from behind. Favours the boundary line. Doesn't quite get there. Stevie Wright has run out of room. Boundary umpire that time right on the spot. Swans trailing 11-15 to 13-11. Translates to a deficit of 8 points. Negri and John hit him on the back. Who's going to get this free kick? The Adelaide player. On to Rowe, who started on the bench today with Bartlett for the Crows. Maynard from behind. Smith Jarman went past, he ignores him, goes for goal. Hodges, great mark!
Well, certainly was that, Pete. He looked like he was out of the contest completely there, Scott Hodges. And Nettlebeck had the better position. Then Nettlebeck fell over, and Hodges with his eyes on the ball right until it hit his hands.
Kick number 8, and really he would have to fall over to miss it. Goal number 4. And that's just the start that Sydney did not want. 14 points the difference. The Crows looking good.
No, they did not want that, Sydney. And Adelaide playing with some confidence now. Scotty Hodges has done a good job at full forward. 4 goals as we have a look at this replay. The kick from Darren Smith, long and direct. It looked as if he could have been out of that contest initially. But then Nettlebeck fell over and allowed the Hodges to take that strong grab.
$14 points the margin. John and Negri go at it again in the middle. Negri gets it down out of midair by Mitchell. Inside the attacking 50 for the Swans. Bartlett does well in a tight situation. To Hughes, bounces off his head. It's taken by Kappa to West, who should kick a goal and does. Bad fumble, and as a result, West punishes the Crows.
Well, Hughes is a liability on that back line at the moment. He really allowed Warwick Kappa far too much latitude early in the game. He was moved. Smart went on to Kappa. Hughes has now been moved back onto him. That was a terrible fumble, just a long handball there by Bartlett, a good handball too, and he was just fumbling at the critical moment, allowing Kappa to hand pass that one to West.
Warwick Kappa has 3 goals, has been instrumental in a couple of others. He's kicked a string of behinds as well, so he's been busy on the forward line. A good comeback to the SCG. John wins it down. Murphy, the hurried kick towards half forward. Good use of the body by Wright. Cleared a path for himself. He leads back in the race now. Lee does well initially to get back. Wright pulls it back across his body, intended for Kappa. Ball running free. Stanislaus running away from his own goal. Screws it back. It's a good effort. And right on the goal line, the mark has been taken by Stevie Wright.
Well, it's amazing how one mistake there from the Adelaide Crows, that was Danny Hughes, just putting down that hand pass from Bartlett, and all of a sudden the Swans get their tails up, and here they come.
No doubt he'll try and run around here. There's the angle. Abernathy just away to the right. Stevie Wright, in fact, he goes straight in, slips but kicks a goal.
2 goals to Wright. Well, Stanislaus has made his presence felt, hasn't he, since he came on the ground? 2 points the difference.
And the crowd right behind Sydney too, which could be a factor up here. And, the Crows were doing it well until that unfortunate incident and allowed West to kick the goal. Stanislaus around the corner, Stevie Wright chipping in. Has been a very busy player.
Even the ground announcer getting behind the Swans here during the break. 2 points the difference. The crowd finding voice. Mitchell again out of the centre for Sydney. Ball off the hands of West. Hughes and Kappa. Hughes getting the front position. Rowe calling for it and gets it. Good shepherd by Filkey. He's gone around the boundary line. Still going. That's a great run out of defence, and he finds Marshall, who's been fairly quiet today. They did kick their first goal. Gets it back again. Hodges has it punched away by Nettlebeck. Jarman. Great snapshot. That's Smith chipping it in front of 2. He takes the mark, and he thought about going.
Well, wisely, he didn't, because Maynard was well covered.
16 kicks he's had. He's kicked 3 goals. A couple out of bounds and a couple of behinds as well. And really, he has been their most effective forward. And that's taking nothing away from Hodges. Smith has done the hard work. Pretty acute angle, not an impossibility. I fancy one behind. And that's the score. Registered to the Crows with 18 1/4 minutes left in the final quarter. 3 points the difference. A thriller at the SCG. Nettlebeck to kick it again. Players scattering far and wide across the half-back line. He goes pretty well straight up the middle. Oh, Cordy, third strong mark in this quarter. Playing a great turn, the former Footscray player. To half forward. West. Oh, Kappa, maybe. Abernathy in front. Kappa, 12 metres out. Was that touched off the boot or is it a goal? It's a goal. Kappa boots his fourth and Sydney is back in front.
4 goals for to Warwick Kappa. It's been a good performance by him on the forward line. A few mistakes creeping into the Crows game now though. They looked as if they had that covered there. You see the hand pass coming here from West to Lewis, who missed Kappa, and then the Crows player Abernathy overrunning it and allowing Kappa to kick the simple goal.
Sydney by 3 points. Still plenty of time. They've come back very strongly in the last 5 minutes. McGuinness trying to force it out of the centre. Lewis goes off the ground. Abernathy keen to make amends. Dives on top of it and again. And we get a whistle. So the Crows got away to lead by 14 points. And that was the stimulus Sydney needed. A string of goals to them. Going to the attacking end, Mitchell. Bartlett in trouble. It falls to Lee. High kick back towards centre wing. Klug, who's tried hard since half-time, has it fisted away by Bayes, but roving the pack, McGuinness, he goes looking for Hodges on the lead, and he's taken the mark. Hodges will fire from 40 metres out. This game has been blown wide open. Suddenly, both sides running free in the middle, and the forward line's becoming dominant. Hodges. A lot riding on this kick. It looks good. It's home.
5 goals to Hodges. The Crows again have the reply.
Well, it is goal for goal. Anyone's game in this final term. McGuinness had plenty of room to move in, and Scott Hodges into a wide open forward line. A great lead. As soon as he saw that McGuinness had the ball, he was off. And he made that lead and got away from Nettlebeck.
Well, win or lose, the Crows have answered one question. They can play well away from Football Park. And doing it well this afternoon, a thriller here in Sydney. It's a pity we have to have a loser, although of course it still could be a draw. Eustace punches on. That'll be a good result. Been a great game. Is that in the back against Abernathy? Mitchell decides to play on. Williams, he's always dangerous close to goal. The Swans could be back in front of his accurate, but he shaved the post. 2 points the difference. 14-16 to 15-12.
That was a bad miss, wasn't it, from there?
He doesn't usually miss those, Bernie.
No, only 30 metres out and no pressure whatsoever.
Hughes, drop punt favoured by him this time. 2-on-1 in favour of Sydney. It goes to the Crows though. Filkey, he's done well. Looking for options. He's got Rowe running for him. 50 metres out. Nettlebeck taps the ball away from Hodges and goes for the boundary line effectively.
What an opportunity, Pete. That pass from Rowe only had to be spot on, and really had so many opportunities. You could have even got long for goal there, Rowe.
2 points the difference. Crows in front in their forward pocket. Smith, 3 points the difference. And Smith has kicked 3 goals, what, Bernie?
3 goals, 5 and 1 out of bounds on the full. Warren McKenzie on the bench there.
Warwick Kappa, of course, also had a few shots in that third quarter, which he normally would have converted. He's got 4 goals. Swans in that turn kicked 3 goals, 6. Mitchell to Bayes. Bayes up towards left half forward. Higgins a chance if the ball sits for him. Rowe again. Gets rid of it pretty quickly. And pass comes back once more. And the Crows will get out of danger through Abernathy. Maynard, centering kick. Hodges almost, yes, I'd say. Jarman plays on and hits the post. So 2 posters. This game has got everything.
I thought that mark may have been paid to Scott Hodges there.
So did I.
Should have been. So the champs, Williams and Jarman, posters on either end. 4 points the difference. Adelaide lead. Nettlebeck down the middle. Negri gets very high. Eustace dragged off the kick. Comes to Murphy. Unattended. He can run. Murphy goes looking for Kappa, who slipped Hughes. Ball hit him in the face. It runs towards the boundary line. Wright can't keep it in.
Both sides playing the ground well now. They're very well now too, Dennis. Straight down the middle. Both sides playing the direct brand of football that is required here at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Hughes did well to get back on Kappa because he slipped him by about 15 metres or so. And that ball was in flight, though. He made up the ground. McDermott gets it away to Filkey. He is so instrumental in their football. He comes out wide and finds Klug. Klug on centre wing. Hoisted high down towards half forward. Nettlebeck was pushed in the back and must get the free kick. That was bad luck for Smith because that ball caught on the breeze, was drifting away from him. He was watching the ball but cannoned into the back of the Sydney defender. This is Carroll at centre half back, going for distance, long kick. Negri should come over the top and take the mark, and he does. Always going to be his. 104 plays 100. 13 and a half minutes remaining in the game. Not a good kick. John drifting up to the wing. He'll send it back. Gareth John tries for distance. Kappa's the target. Up he goes one-handed. Lewis, hurried kick. It favours West. Back to Lewis. Will it bounce through for a goal? No, it doesn't. The wrong side. Minor score to the Swans. It's 3 points the difference.
Nettlebeck has been moved from full-back. Bernard Toohey now playing on Scott Hodges and Nettlebeck playing on Darren Smith.
Hughes to kick in, 13 minutes left in the game. A thriller. Well, that's not a good one. West on his own. Mitchell, have to be quick. Good tackle. Williams, late. Mitchell again, back to Williams. Gives it back to Mitchell. Keeping's off. He fumbles again. Pressure's on out there. Lee, that's a good kick. Maynard, strong hands. Scoops it up. Tregenza and Eustace, too slick for him. Smith, tapped away by Nettlebeck. The Swans have the numbers at the fall of the ball. Aythorne, in trouble. Back to Bayes. He'll need to go for the boundary. Hasn't found it yet. The ball finally gets there. The Swans a chance to regroup.
That Maynard's a very good mark, isn't he? Over Cordy.
Tremendous mark in front.
Makes you appreciate how good it was.
Smith in front. Williams tackled by Marshall. It's a Crows free kick.
He was being held, Darren Smith, and by putting his body in front, getting the front position, he won the free kick.
Rowe, too long for him. Carroll, late on the scene. Stanislaus. Good hand pass. John. Straight down the centre. Thompson, hurried hand pass. Smart and Lee. The Crows had the numbers. Thompson, left centre wing. Long kick. Open space in the forward line. John again. And the big fellow does well, looking for options. Nearly kicked it to the trainers. Smith into an open goal. This will be costly. Four goals to Smith. Is that the first death knell?
Now, I'm sure he thought the runner or the trainer was a Swans player. I'm sure of that.
Well, that's a possibility. I'm sure he looked at him. There's no worries about that, Dennis. But that is a terrible mistake going across goal. His kicking's not the best at the best of times. So maybe he just should have went long.
9 points the difference. Adelaide lead. Negri wins it down. Bayes goes off the ground towards the outer side. Can the Swans get the quick reply? Speaking of quick, it's Spilkey denying them. Rides it long towards half forward. Smith, good strong mark. A long way from goal. He's at left half forward. Some indecision. Centres the ball. West will give a contest. No, Negri comes in from the side, took the mark.
That was a courageous mark too by Negri. He didn't know what was coming his way, going with the flight of the ball. And he just kept his eyes on it all the way. West clipping him across the ears.
McDermott did well too. He took West out of it. Hodges, juggled mark, strong one. No, play on's the call. He called it very early. The umpire, I was watching him. You may see him.
It looked like a mark to me, Dennis. Yes, oh, you have to pay that. Why wouldn't you pay that?
Ask Barry Mitchell.
That's right. Ball on the outer side after the bounce. Jarman, hurried kick. It bounces through for a goal. Didn't matter about the mark. As it turned out, Andrew Jarman got the goal. 17-14 to 14-17. It could be a match-winning break.
Yes, well, it could be now. That's right, because the Crows playing with confidence. Their on-ball players have lifted. Their forwards doing well. Smith and Hodges. And Darren Jarman, who's been moved up into that forward pocket, causing a lot of problems.
15 points the difference. Job ahead of the Swans if they're to get back into this game. Adelaide finishing the better. That could be a free kick to Murphy, but not paid. Smith, who's just about best on the ground in my book. Tui. Strong mark. Looks for West. Knocked away by Thompson. Bartlett. Good strong shepherd. Smith again. Back to Bartlett. Started on the bench today. Chips it short. Filkey. He's also been one of the best players out there this afternoon. And you can see by those stats, 13 kicks, 5 hand passes, 3 marks. He's done a lot. Only a distance in that kick. Rushed through for 1 behind, so effectively Sydney needs 3 goals. They've got 9 minutes and a bit in which to get them. Perhaps a tall order. Tui's done well, as those stats would indicate to us. And he too goes straight up the ground with the kick in. Knocked over the back by John. Tregenza overruns the ball. Klug, traditionally with socks down. Good knock on by Smart. Lewis from a standing start. Kick travels only 30 metres into the open spaces, but he's got his skipper out there going for him. And he gets beaten for it on that occasion. That was well done by Lee. Maynard. Klug. A sealer if it's a goal. 1 behind. 8.5 minutes left. 17 points the difference, so Sydney needs 3 goals. And they need them quickly.
Plenty of support for Adelaide here today too.
Well, it appears that way. McKenzie back on the ground too for Sydney.
That's terrific for a national competition. A lot of roars when Adelaide are controlling the ball. This is Carroll from the kick in. Aythorne is at left half back. They'll have to move now, the Swans, towards half forward. Bays, he's gone on the forward line. Bartlett read it nicely off hands. Away to Lee, to Rowe. You sense the Crows are enjoying this now. They're starting to run. Tregenza, not a good kick. Carroll to Wright. Tregenza gets in. Wright gets the kick off though towards the middle. Negri knocks it out wide to accommodate the run of Smart. Still Smart goes. Negri trying to assist and stay with him. Here's McGuinness. He's got the pace on the outer side. McGuinness checks, pulls it back. Intelligent kick. And McDermott's taken the mark about 55 metres from goal. The Crows standing tall now, and their experience standing them in good stead. It's not AFL or VFL experience. It's experience in their own competition. Off hands, Klug. Oh, missed it.
Oh dear.
Well, that was a sitter, wasn't it, from John Klug? He's missed 2 in this final term. Gareth John on the bench alongside Wayne Henwood.
Just under 8 minutes remaining. Aythorne takes the short pass. Kicks towards centre wing. Bays is outnumbered. Rowe, he's been valuable. Gets it off to Filkey.
High kick and long. Hodges.
Well, the Adelaide runners have really taken over in this final term. Filkey's played an enormous game.
Since half-time.
Yeah, since half-time he's been excellent. Lee in the back pocket, another great player too. And Hodges at full forward.
Going for goal number 6. Couldn't see him missing it from there.
He has.
I said I couldn't see him missing it from there.
Just when you wrap him up.
You back the Swans. That always works. That's an old trick.
Well, we were forced to pick Adelaide at the luncheon. I don't think we've put the kiss of death on them yet. They're not home, but they certainly look just about there. Off the top of the pack to Murphy. Look for support. Gets it. The skipper. Williams' kick, Abernathy in front of Kappa. Formerly of North Melbourne, formerly of Collingwood. In the AFL. Mackenzie got a fingernail to it. Smart. Coat hangers his opponent. Murphy will get, logically, the free kick. Adelaide looking to fit a combination at the moment. They're certainly finishing the better. It's out of bounds.
Yeah, they've done well in this final term, haven't they, Pete? The way they've ran and supported each other. The tackling's been great.
They'll face an interesting clash next week against Essendon, their first Melbourne appearance in the daytime competition. Eustace. Rowe. Defensive 50-metre line. Abernathy goes out wider. And Lee out of bounds, looking for on the full. Optimistic, I would have thought. 6 minutes left in this game. The Swans need 3 goals. Not impossible, but improbable. Murphy to Lewis. Off the mark at the back. Umpire has paid it. Abernathy from right back pocket. And that's out of bounds. Now camera. We're still in receivership, so please be careful of it.
Migri wins it down, but only as far as Mitchell, who boots it across the ground. Carroll favoured by the bounce, but in trouble. McDermott goes in and wins the hard ball. McGuinness straight across the ground. It proceeds out of bounds. I think we got a whistle back there. It's coming back, and I think it will be taken by Love. Didn't see what that was for, but he's got the ball. Forward of centre wing. Goes looking for Kappa, who's one out down there with Hughes. Got his hands to it. Couldn't hang on. In goes right, but he's outnumbered. It's picked up by Bartlett. Goes over the top. Filkey to the run of Hughes, who comes up towards half-back. Kicks towards centre wing. Some body work out there. Nettlebeck fisting away from Smith. Marshall has it socket away by Aythorne. This is Eustace. Forward of centre wing. Across his body, but into a nest of Crows. And the mark is taken by Thompson. They finished the stronger. They had a Spartan pre-season, and they've shown the benefits of that today. Outplayed early and on occasions after half-time, but my word, they've kept coming. McDermott, beautiful hand pass, measured to Filkey, who comes inside to Jarman, who started the movement. He's forward of centre, goes looking for Hodges. Too much carry on the kick. It runs free behind. Tui leads back in the race and sockers it directly across the boundary line. It hits the fence hard and comes ricocheting back, but the umpire showing some compassion.
16 kicks to Tui. Williams, Jarman, McGuinness, 3 champs there. And again, it's shuffled out of bounds. I don't think either side really gaining too much from that. Still ran about 50 metres from the Adelaide goal. Handy one to win if they're to get the points here this afternoon. Maynard from McDermott. Hodges in front again and marks.
And has done well too, Scott Hodges.
Kick 5, should have had 6.
5 goals, 4. I like the way he approaches it though, Dennis. He certainly attacks that ball. Keeps his eyes on it.
They don't give away McGarry medals, do they? 153 goals last season. He turns 23 in a fortnight, so a lot of football in front of this young man. And some of the big crowd are leaving now, in excess of 10,000 today. Peter,
not a bad
turnout.
crowd, was it, Dennis?
Oh, good.
And as you mentioned, quite a few here from Adelaide, judging by the reaction to that goal. Well, that time he does get his 6th, and that is the sealer on the game. 25 points the margin now, and that's been the biggest we've had all day between these two sides.
Yes, and Hodges, 3 goals in this final term, 6 for the match. There he is again in front. He's always prepared to put the body in front, and a much better kick for goal. He looked very determined to put that one through.
Six goals to Hodges. We could say a match-winning performance from him. Higgins, he's gone out of the game a little bit. He was one of the stars for Sydney in the first half. Love takes evasive action. Shoots. And it looks accurate. In fact, it is. It's a goal. Love seconds, but I fear just a trifle too late for Sydney. 107 to 126.
There's Jason Love kicking one goal in the second quarter and now one in this final term. But all too late as far as Sydney is concerned, because Adelaide have played a tremendous final quarter and have completely overrun the Swans.
A good second half, actually, Dennis, because remember they outscored them 7-3 to 3-6 in the third quarter. So I think Bernie, their day is done. McGuinness again. He never stops running, does he? Long shot and an accurate one. That's through. McGuinness's first goal, and they are a fit side. There's no doubt about that. 19-18 to 15-17.
They are a very good running side. And Tony McGuinness kicking his first goal. He's had the job on Greg Williams and has done it well too today. Tony McGuinness. Greg Williams really hasn't had the influence that you normally expect from him at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Most entertaining game of football is won. 2 minutes remaining. McDermott. Filkey missed it. McDermott goes again, despairingly. Lewis scrambles it forward, down towards left half forward for the Swans. Rowe has improved, picked up the tempo and done well. He kicks it out wide. Tregenza has the run of it, confronted by Nettlebeck. Does nicely, slips the hand pass away to Smart from 60 metres out. Goes looking for Klug, reading it nicely, Tui behind. Back towards centre wing, in from the side Nettlebeck. That was a good mark. And the Swans have tried very hard today, all to no avail. McKenzie gets it away to Lewis. He's impressive. He runs to 50 and is likely to score a goal here. That's a long kick, just missed. .24 points the margin. Just over a minute remaining. So Adelaide will improve their record to 2-1. Hughes kicking in straight down the middle. McDermott, when required, has been a very influential player. Strong mark. And realises there's plenty of time. No hurry at all. Just squares the ball away. His vice captain, Tony McGuinness. McGuinness on centre wing. A little nuance with the ball there as he kicks it out wide. It bounces just inside the field of play. The clock continues to run. No room out there for the Swans, really. That was the purpose of the kick, I think, from McGuinness. He can't do anything with it. Eventually it went out of bounds by design, and we've got a throw-in.
Well, Bernie and I just went for the dictionary for that one. Nuance. I'll look it up later. Thank you, Dennis.
I left it till late.
Filkey. Good long kick. We'll register no score. It's out of bounds.
Whatever the nuance was, it didn't help him, did it?
I'm starting to hope it was right now. There's no need to highlight it.
Could be in the crossword tomorrow. We'll look out for it. There's the siren. The Crows have won. It was a good match, but after half-time, Adelaide just a little bit too convincing. Sydney at that stage led by 13 points, but the final score was 19-18 to 15-18, a 4-goal victory to Adelaide, and they have shown us today that they can win, and win well, away from home.
They certainly did that, Pete. 13 goals in the second half, and Sydney could only manage 7. So a tremendous second half by the Adelaide Crows. Negri and McDermott. I think Sydney would be very disappointed with that, because at half-time I would have expected them to go on with that form, but they could not continue, and well done the Crows.
So Adelaide by 4 goals, 19-18 to 15-18. 4 points the margin. Adelaide's way at quarter time. They trailed by 13 at half time. They led by 8 points at three-quarter time. They kicked away to win by 24 points at the finish. Scott Hodges kicking 6 goals. Darren Smith got 4 and 2 apiece to Maynard and Klug. And for the Sydney Swans, Kappa got 4, 2 to Wright, 2 to Mitchell, and 2 to Love. Well, an impressive performance by Adelaide. Interesting. One thing that really impressed me was the response the Adelaide team got coming off the ground. A lot of Adelaide people obviously live in New South Wales.
Well, that was surprising, wasn't it? Because many cheers for the Adelaide Crows after the final siren, and plenty of support up here, which was surprising.
They're a hard-working football team, aren't they? Nothing flash. Some good players, certainly, but they just simply work their opposition over. They run hard, they keep coming, and they're a blue-collar team.
Well, they seem to be very fit. Yes, they are workers, and that really was so important in that second half, because Sydney did have their chances in that second half if Kappa had a had-off kick straight in the third quarter. The match stats, really, there's not a lot of difference in those. Sydney 199, 191 kicks to Adelaide, 73 marks, 56 again in Sydney's favour. Everything going in Sydney's favour there. You wonder where Adelaide really got on top. I think the difference was when they did get the ball down in the forward line, they had the players there with the skills who could capitalise on many opportunities created by the running players of the Adelaide Crows.
They won by 24 points.
On the other big game, of course, today, it was being played at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and viewers in Melbourne and Adelaide will be taking a replay shortly. We're going to be showing you the final score now. If you don't wish to see, look away. Here it is. And the other game being played today, of course, to complete round 3 in the AFL for 91 out at the Western Oval between Footscray and Geelong. And the final scoreboard out there at the Western Oval saw a victory to the Cats, 15-27, 117, defeating Footscray 10-8, 68. Next week we have round 4 and some pretty interesting matches set down for decision here. Let's take a look on the board now. Friday night we have a game in Perth, West Coast and North Melbourne. Saturday, some good games there, Melbourne and Carlton, Essendon and Adelaide, and 2 further games to complete the round on Sunday, Brisbane and Geelong at the Gabba, Hawthorn as the bye. Okay, well that just about takes us out from the Sydney Cricket Ground. A pretty good win, as it turned out in the end, to the Adelaide Crows. They didn't have things all their own way, but a very, very good and a very entertaining game of football. Let's go now to continue our telecast back in the studios of HSV7 in Melbourne. And a very good afternoon to Drew Morford.
Thanks, Pete. Good afternoon and have a safe trip home. Well, the match at the MCG today in fine autumn weather between Melbourne and St Kilda. The Demons were favourites after making up for their bad loss in Perth in week 1 by thrashing Fitzroy last week. St Kilda looked all right last week against Geelong before finally going down. But they included 2 South Australians, Kitchke and Antrobus, in their lineup. And I'll just get rid of the fly right now for the game today at the MCG. And St Kilda, for the first half, looked as good as they've ever looked in a game of football. They kicked 15 goals 6 to half-time to lead by 32 points over Melbourne, 9 goals 10. The Saints were looking really great. Well, we're picking up the replay with 10 minutes of play remaining in the third quarter, and by this stage the Saints lead by 27 points. Commentators at the MCG, Sandy Roberts, Ian Robertson and Don Scott.
One particular gentleman's going to be very